All right, everybody, welcome out to the Logroom Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, January the 16th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. How are you tonight, sir?
24. 2024. Old.
Yeah.
Feeling older every day. Oh,
yeah. See, isn't that a song from Chicago? Feeling older every day.
No,
feeling stronger every day.
Stronger. Yeah, that's. I'm thinking reverse.
Yeah, that's the opposite of that. Yeah. Feeling weaker every day.
Feeling more febile.
Right.
Febile? Not febile.
We've said this before on the show. Why is it the older you get, the more injured you are every morning when you wake up?
Yes, I've heard the statement. At our age is like once you get to a certain age, you have a risk of going to bed healthy and waking up injured.
Yeah.
I've actually had that happen.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
It's like
an itch on your back. Oh boy, you better find like a quarter or something, because if you try to reach for it yourself, you're going to throw something.
Oh no, I get out of bed and I go to the corner, the door jamb.
Yeah, the door jams are great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they're not sharp, so you're not going to tear whatever you're wearing up. Or
exactly.
Skin, whatever.
Depends on what you sleep in, but anyway.
Well, this is true too.
So, folks,
if you sleep in chainmail armor, that helps with the scratching.
Right, exactly.
Plate mail, on the other hand, is not going. You're not going to really get that too itchy. It will help you against a dragon, however.
This is true. And why would you bring that up today, sir?
Because today is the day to appreciate a dragon.
Happy Appreciate a Dragon Day.
So, any friends or family that happen to be dragons, send them a letter of appreciation. Let them know how you feel.
Give them a call. Send a text. An email, even something. Facebook message.
Can text. I mean, they've got those sharp claws.
They can read it, or somebody can hold the phone.
Well, I mean, they can do voice to text.
It's true.
If they don't melt the phone when they do it.
That's true.
Man, I never realized all the tech issues dragons must have.
Experience,
we got to appreciate that too about dragons. That they can't really become too tech savvy because they're killing machines, basically.
Well, exactly. They're not going to be too tech savvy because they're
no, and they probably don't care to be.
They probably don't care. That's probably the main reason. But in any event, I do want to let everybody know. We both want to let everybody know. Those of you waiting for us to start the show from the initial time, we do apologize. Our guest has had some technical issues, and he will be joining us post haste as soon as he's able to.
If he can sort the issues out.
If he can sort the issues out. So we were obviously planning on having him on when we started. And
when we're supposed to start.
When we were supposed to start, but that wasn't able to happen. So he's sorting out what he can sort out, and hopefully at some point during the show he will pop on and we'll be able to get that report. But we have a bunch of other things to talk about, and even some Rhode Island stuff that I held back from my trip up there.
There we go.
Last week. So
we're all set for the Rhode Island here.
Yeah,
you got your hat. I've got my shirt.
There you go.
From Frog and the Toad, which is one of my favorite stores in all.
Frog and the Toad, great store. I was in it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's hard not. You can lose 3 hours in that store
easily. Easily. So back to that now. So it's not only Appreciate Dragon Day though. It is also International Hot and Spicy Food Day,
which is weird because John knows more than most people how much I love hot and spicy food.
Right.
And I didn't have any hot and spicy food today. I was just so busy at work that I just really couldn't
break away and eat something hot and spicy.
Yeah. And there's other things today that
you'll belatedly celebrate it tomorrow.
No, I won't, because I'm going out with work. One of our vendors is taking out to dinner at a steakhouse in Manhattan. So
fair enough.
Yeah. So
you order a hot and spicy appetizer.
I've checked. They don't have any hot and spicy appetizers. That's okay. That's okay.
We did eat lunch, right? Maybe just put a little extra red pepper flakes on whatever.
Okay, so at my age, eating something hot and spicy in the midday while at work, and then going out later, that's a recipe for disaster right there.
All right, fine.
You know full well if you're eating something hot and spicy, I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to be home really close to the room that's right down there.
Exactly, and it's not the closet, folks.
No.
And it's a water closet.
It's around that way. It is a water closet.
It's a water closet.
The British refer to it as the loo.
The loo, yeah. So, and it's one of the day today, and this is something special that you wanted to talk about.
Yes, it is UNESCO Beatles Day.
It's what?
I'm going to do that. I said 3, 4, 2, 4, and 5.
3 said 3, 4, and 5. So let's go back to the text. Let's go back to the text.
2, 4. Did I say 2, 4, and 5?
You said 3, 4, and 5.
I meant 3, 5, and 6. That's my bad.
3, 4, and 5.
I can't count. I can't count.
No.
But we'll cover National Nothing Day because we've got some time to kill anyway. But National Nothing Day. That's the Pastafarians. So, and it's really just a celebration of not celebrating anything.
Well, you actually said it too in the other text. You said national. Oh, it was supposed to be 3,
4, 3, 5, 6.
5, and 6. Okay,
this was 5. Yeah. So, but no, number 6. I don't know. John didn't have the opportunity.
Happy National Nothing Day for all the Pastafarians out there.
And in celebration, the next one to bring up, we have nothing as far as a crawl for underneath. It is. Oh,
no, we can in a second. So.
Well, John can.
We have the
technology. We have the time. We even have the will and the desire, and we don't have the pride.
There we go.
There it is. UNESCO Beatles Day, and I wanted to bring this up because this is the one that had the neat story behind it, John.
Okay.
UNESCO Beatles Day actually doesn't exist, but it's celebrated anyway.
Well, there you go. Kind of like the Lager Room Guys Day in September.
It doesn't exist, but we celebrate it. No, it does. UNESCO did not come up with this day. For those who don't know who UNESCO is, it's the UN something co. It's what they do is they help protect heritage sites, historical heritage sites, natural beauty, all kinds of things are on their list. Bamberg, Germany is on the list. And the reason it's on the list is because Bamberg was one of the few cities in Germany that was untouched by World War II. So you're seeing German architecture from, well prior to World War II, whereas in most other German cities, it was destroyed. So Bamberg is on there. There's so many other places. Obviously, Giza is on there. The Grand Canyon's on the list. There's so many things that's on the UNESCO list. The Beatles are not, because it's not a place. UNESCO is about places. But someone posted it once that it was UNESCO Beatles Day, and so many people ran with it that there's actually whole countries that celebrate UNESCO Beatles Day. So it's just an example of basically, I guess, a game of telephone, John, I guess we could call it.
Pretty much, yeah.
But it doesn't change. The whole point of telephone is that it changes from one point to the next, right?
Right.
But this was, I believe, UNESCO Beatles Day came through, I forget what country started it. I know it was in the Baltics, because I know Armenia, Russia, and the Ukraine all referred to January 16th as Beatles Day because of this. But I don't know where it actually started. It started, let's see if I can remember. I think it was a Spanish country that started it.
Right.
And then, I forget. But it is celebrated in many countries throughout the world. It's kind of funny. That's, this fake news in one point became something. And if you go onto the worldheritagesite.org, which is not UNESCO's site, they do give you sites that are connected to the Beatles Heritage Day. So that's pretty kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
So that's why I wanted to bring that up. I thought it was a neat story about how something that got made up became its thing, became its own thing. Even though it was wrong, it's still celebrated, and that's a great thing.
Gotcha. Sorry, I'm just I'm going back and forth with the technical issues guests right now. So,
okie dokie.
All right.
So you want me to forge on with our plan? Well, you do so.
Say again. I'm sorry. We're done.
So we can forge on with. Okay, so
we can forge on with the show. Let's pour our beer and then we can continue what we're talking about. So,
okay.
So, what are you having first, sir? I apologize to everybody for that delay in my speaking, but just heard from our guest.
John acts as the show handler, so
yeah. Jimmy's out today.
Jimmy's out today. I'm going to start with a porter, John.
You're going to start with a porter?
I'm going to start with a porter.
Well, I'm going to start. I have a porter. Too. I have the same porter. But I'm going to start with, I have a lager and you don't. So.
Yeah. And the reason John's got a lager and I don't is because
you have a stout and I don't.
Because John came back with one lager, one stout, and I knew damn well when he asked me which one do you want, that it would turn into a tussle for the lager because it's the only lager in the thing. Right. So So I said, John, you humped it all back from Rhode Island. You take the lager, I'll take the stout. Okay. But the other two beers we're drinking, we each have, and I am going to start off with India Point Porter. Now, when John gets to India Point Porter, it'll be very meaningful to him since when he was in Rhode Island, he stayed at India Point.
Yes,
yeah. He did. So what is that? Is that a Holiday Inn there?
It is. No, it's a Hilton.
Hilton. That's right. It's a Hilton. So
there we go. Perfect.
So this is India Point Porter. People who don't know what India Point Porter is, what India Point is a park right on the river on the southern edge of the portion of Providence that's north of the river. There's lots of Providence below the river.
It's right at the top of Narragansett Bay.
Yes, and it is the tip of Narragansett Bay. It's a beautiful little park. They have festivals there every now and then. You'll see people flying kites there. Some people will put remote control boats in the water there.
Yep.
Have them completely smashed on a rough day, though. There are some days where it's a little calmer on the Narragansett. So, Narragansett Brewing Company is right across the street from India Point,
and right next to the hotel that I stayed in.
But they're closed the whole time John was there.
They decided to close because we Jess and I go away the beginning every year. The second, third, and fourth. It's our Christmas present to each other, right? And so last year was Boston, this year was Providence, and Providence Narragansett Brewing decided that they were going to close for the first week in January. So give their people a break, right? Because they didn't want to give them a break during Christmas week because people were in town.
But what John doesn't realize is I called them beforehand, gave them a warning, so they wanted to give their people a break.
Right.
From John.
Jersey Johnny's coming up here. We got to close.
We got to close, people.
We got to get this done.
For the love of God.
Exactly.
Go home. Lock your doors.
There you go.
Oh, man. So, India Point, well, as you can see under where it says Beer Samurai, I miss Rhode Island. India Point is one of those places.
Mm-hmm.
And India Point's right on the state long bike trail that they've got most of it connected now, if not all.
I think it's all connected. It goes from Cumberland down to Newport. So 44 miles. Think about that. It goes from northeast to it goes from almost the northernmost point on the eastern side of Rhode Island to the southernmost point on eastern Rhode Island, and it's 44 miles.
Yeah,
that's it.
No, it's not the southernmost point on east.
Well, no, it's the southernmost point on that part of it.
But it's north central to south central, basically.
There you go, north central to south central.
Okay, so Cumberland's here, right, and Newport is here,
right.
So this is the whole state of Rhode Island. So this here
looks like a beer mug to me.
This here, well, it's because you're an alcoholic. But this whole thing is 44 miles.
44 miles. I'm not as stinky drunk I am.
Yeah. I'm not of the opulence of alcohol.
So there you go.
Okay. This porter stuff. I can't wait for you to get to this porter. This one's, I like this. This is yums.
This lager is pretty damn good too. Here, I'll put up the crawl for the lager I'm having.
Yeah, you do that.
Put that up. Set it off. I'd show you the can, but it's just It's
It looks a lot like this one.
it looks a lot like that one. It's just set it off lager, right? So whatchamacallit. In fact, the stout you're having is the same label, but the IPA we're having together last.
That's one of the labels for distribution,
right?
Not for in-house consumption, I guess.
Exactly. But this lager is little. It's got a little bit of opaqueness to it.
Little haze.
Little haze. But it's pretty.
They are technically in New England.
So it's a New England lager.
There you go.
There you go.
It is.
We got a comment from Doug Smith.
Who?
Doug Smith.
I'm kidding. I know.
We're talking about Rhode Island. Of course, we're going to get a comment from Doug Smith. So,
yes, we will.
Rhode Island has upped its game. Good craft in the Ocean State. Yes,
absolutely,
have. Sir.
It's
nice Bruins logo, by the way.
Yeah,
they beat the Devils yesterday, so that's fine.
Oh, it's Ranger fans. We like that. Speaking of, as Giants fans, we love what happened this weekend.
Oh yeah,
both the Cowboys and the Eagles getting bounced unceremoniously.
Mm-hmm.
Bounced,
and the Cowboys getting bounced by the Packers. Mm-hmm. And and we actually I shared a reel with Dave earlier, and everybody in one group. And it was who was it? It was Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco. They were doing going back and forth. And Shannon Sharp said that the Packers have won.
Only your second favorite team. That's okay.
The Packers have won more playoff games in AT&T Stadium than the Cowboys have.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
which is like
someone else having more sex in your bed and you live there. That was Shannon Sharp's comment.
That was awesome.
That was pretty good.
I'll tell you one thing. I said this to John earlier. The internet has been brutal, mm-hmm. especially on the Cowboys. They've roasted the Eagles a little bit. There's that one thing that I sent you, John, with Jalen Hurts. And Travis Kelce, and Jalen Hurts thinks the problem is that he needs to get a butt implant for so the tush push will work against Green Bay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That was a good one. One of my favorite memes came out again for this, and I never don't laugh at it. And that's the one where it says Cowboys logo. It's not a logo. It's a rating.
It's a rating, right? Exactly.
Got to be my favorite, but everyone's being brutal on it. And the one thing I have to say about this, I really, really hope that now, after this latest failure, that tag of America's team comes off the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I don't think this is going to do it either. I mean, if for all that they've done over the last 26 years, 27, 28 years now. Great in the regular season, can't do it in the playoffs.
Nope.
Since
Romo.
Right. If by now, they didn't win anything with Romo either.
No, I said it's ever been since Romo.
Before that, it was Bledsoe before Romo.
Yeah.
Bledsoe, it went from Aikman. I mean, other than a quarterback here and there, but it went from Aikman to Bledsoe to Romo to Dak. Basically, with the exception of, your one point starter here, 1 point starter there and all. But
that is what it is.
I mean, this is coming from, like, you got to remember, Jason Garrett was the Cowboys coach for 10 years. No, but he was Aikman's backup, and he was actually on the Giants too. He was Eli Manning. He was Kerry Collins's backup in the Super Bowl that the Giants lost to the Ravens.
Our only loss in the Super Bowl.
And ironically,
there's irony.
There is irony. Not only was Jason Garrett on that Giants roster that year for that Super Bowl, but Dan Campbell was a tight end on that Giants team for that Super Bowl, and he's taken the Lions to the divisional round this year. So.
Yep.
There's a lot of the NFL is very incestuous, There's no more dynasties with you.
No,
You're on one team forever, and that's it.
you're never going to
That
see.
was
You're never
40
going to
years
see.
ago, and that was it. Yeah, exactly.
You're never going to see the Steelers from the 70s and 80s again. A team that pretty much stayed intact for what, 6 years, John, if not more.
If more than that.
I think more than that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that offensive line, that defensive line, the secondary, the quarterback, the running back, and the wide receiver core. They may have changed the punter, but other than that, that team is an intact team from what, 76, probably even closer to 72 to probably about 84.
72 to 84. Yeah, that's about right.
That's somewhere
right
around there. But
we got another comment from Worldwide Beer Fest. Good evening from Southwest Washington State. Cheers.
Cheers, Worldwide Beer Fest.
Cheers, Worldwide Beer Fest.
Yes, there's something we need to look into and maybe getting to, John.
I would
love to. I'd love to see the brewery list.
I did see them like the. He sent the. They sent the Facebook.
There we go.
Events. There
it
you go.
is.
We'll have to. We'll definitely have to do that. And Worldwide Beer Fest.
Go back to that so people can write down all those.
There you go. So write that down. There you go. Just go to Worldwide Beer Fest. Just go to Facebook and type in Worldwide Beer Fest. Yeah,
exactly. I'm teasing.
No. But definitely. I saw them like the post before on the California Let's Talk beer craft beer page.
And it's like, where is this? Where is the Worldwide?
Where's the California Let's Talk craft beer page?
No, I know what that is. Where's the Worldwide Beer Fest? I must be over 21.
No,
oops, I clicked under 21. Yeah, I hardly get carded anymore. They get carded at Bakes.
They're having a National Beer Day event on April 7th. Check our profile for more information. We will do so. We'll even post it on our events for you too.
Yeah, we'll put that up there. Let's see. They've got some craft tech talks on their page. That's awesome. Love to see this. All right. And then save the dates. When is the fest itself? Don't see that yet. Session 1. Okay, these are all those. It's
both virtual and in person, streaming live and streaming live on Twitch. There you go.
Oh, there we go. This is something I'm going to need to look into. The in-person one I definitely want to look into as to where can we go and drink?
We can. Where can we go and drink? One of the places. There you go. Other than right here in our podcast every Tuesday night. So
yes.
All right. So just got word. Dave and I going back and forth. Some of the downtime you heard there. I apologize again for it. Our guest will be unable to come on tonight. So we will. Fortunately, our top 3 list. He actually sent his top 3, so we can actually still do the top 3 list with him.
Let's do the top 3 list.
There you go.
What is?
There he goes. It's facebook.com/Worldwide Beer Fest. What's your name, by the way? Because I'm going to reach out to you after the show on Facebook. I got a couple of questions, some things about posting the event, and some other things I want to talk to you about. So just shoot me a name right here in the comments, and I'll reach out to you after. I'll reach out to you via your Facebook page after the show is after we finish the show. Catherine, you got it, Catherine.
Okay.
Catherine, I will reach out to you right after the show. Thank you for watching. Stay involved and comment away because we're interactive. We'll go back and forth all night. So, but thank you, Catherine. I'll reach out to you right after the show on your page.
I love the fact that they've linked it to National Beer Day in April.
That's awesome.
That's great. And full well we celebrate it here on the show.
Yes, we do.
It's whatever show is closest to it. If you notice, we have our things at the beginning of the show where we talk about the observances for the day. And if we got a big beer drinking day coming up that's not on the day we do the show, we do tend to mention it. We will definitely always mention that one. And that said, I've got to make sure I'm walking.
Wait, big beer drinking day. Are you talking about Saturday?
Saturday is an important one. You know what Saturday is?
Saturday is. I was just talking about any Saturday.
Yes. No. Saturday is Baltic Porter Day, John.
Saturday is Baltic Porter Day. Yes, I will be planning on having a Baltic Porter this Saturday. That's for sure.
So that's an important one. That's the only one coming up until we do the next show, and the next show is not one of those. It's not one of those days.
No, the next show is not one of those days.
It's not a big beer day. Though the day after that show is Beer Can Appreciation Day.
And we'll have a couple of beer cans on the show. At least I know I'm drinking one that will.
And we can appreciate them. I
we
appreciate every
those.
beer can.
Well, I can appreciate every beer can as well, but
well, not every beer can. Sometimes beer cans hold things that. Well, the good thing is the beer can it's portable enough to get it to the sink.
Certain ones, and we're very fair on the show. It's not as if we put anyone down by any means.
No. And I won't mention my last strain pour, but John knows my last strain.
I know what it is. and I feel bad, but it happens sometimes. But that doesn't cloud for us. That doesn't even cloud us for the brewery. It was just a bad batch, right? It's a bad batch. That's all. Anyway, so our guest will be unable to join us tonight. So we'll still talk Rhode Island. We still got a couple other things to talk about. I'm going to keep my my dad jokes that I have on the sheet for tonight. I'll keep them for next week. But I have one that I wanted to tell you.
Oh, well, you got to get that one out.
I'll get a separate one, maybe two. So here we go. So 2 goldfish were in a tank. Ready?
Okay.
You're getting something.
Two goldfish were in a tank top.
Two goldfish were in a tank together. All right.
It's a good place for a goldfish.
And one said to the other one, "Do you know how to drive this thing?"
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Silence.
See, most dad jokes have some cleverness to them. I'm not sure how clever that actually is, but okay.
It's a tank. They're in a tank. Like a Sherman.
Oh,
tank.
that kind of tank.
Well, yeah. Obviously, they're not in a. They're 2 goldfish are in a tank together. It's clever.
That kind of tank. I got you. That would okay. That's on me for not catching up to you.
There you go. And Catherine liked it. Thank you very much, Catherine. All right.
You don't have to butter him up, Catherine.
So yeah, I know. Well, it was just funny too because it was snowing the other day. Before it snowed, of course, I washed my car with my son.
It was snowing before it snowed.
Before it snowed, I wanted to wash the car.
Right.
So and of course it snowed right away anyway. But I was washing the car with my son, and he looked at me. He says, "Dad, can't you use a sponge?" Right.
No, I've
heard that one before. Yeah. Right. That's it. That was a throwaway one. I'll keep the good ones for next week. We'll do that. Anyway. All right. So Rhode Island. Yeah. So I'll go through it. I held back some of the conversation about Rhode Island from last week because we were having Efren on. It's Efren Hidalgo, by the way. I'll put up. This is who was coming on the show. It's Efren Hidalgo. Anybody that looked at the post before, whether it was on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, or excuse me, X, or Twitch. Efren Hidalgo is the owner and brewmaster of Providence Brewing up in. We're obviously drinking Providence beer. I was up there a couple weeks ago.
The oldest brewery in Rhode Island.
The oldest brewery in Rhode Island, yes.
By name.
Oldest brewery by name in Rhode Island.
Yes.
Efren resurrected the brand and opened back up again, and he's in his second location.
And this location, I've got mixed feelings about the location because, John, you remember where I told you I lived when I lived in Rhode Island.
You lived, yes, I knew you lived in Pawtucket.
And it, nice comment.
Got to be haunted, yes.
It's Providence. Everything in Providence is haunted,
right?
It's where H.P. Lovecraft lived.
There you go.
Oh my God! And there's a news story that came out that they were tearing some houses down on Angela Avenue.
Okay.
I was like, please tell me it's not Lovecraft's house. Please tell me it's not.
It's not. Yeah, it can't be. Yeah.
Because I'm that big of a Lovecraft fan that when they said what street it was on, it's like I know where Lovecraft's house is. Mm-hmm. But anyway, what was I saying? I was going off. So the location where I used to live in Pawtucket, there was there's a great music venue there, but also it's an old building. I forget what they used to make there. But there's 2 wings of it, and the 2 wings, they would open up in the winter, and it was the winter farmers market. It was fantastic. The best part about it is I could straight up do the dude, go there in my slippers and bathrobe, and shop the farmers market when everybody else is like in parkas.
Right.
And I actually did. I didn't have slippers on. I did have shoes on, but I did go there once in my robe. I had I'm serious. I had lounge pants on, a t-shirt, and my robe, and I was shopping.
Very nice.
They had some really great vendors there. So eventually Rhode Island decided, because that place was a little too small for it, they decided to have this one building. I don't know if this building was built to house that and a bunch of other things.
Right.
And so the farmers market and this whole area that Providence has set up is fantastic. You've got more room for the farmers market now. I still don't like the layout of it. And across the street, there's a distillery.
Yep.
Makes pretty damn good vodka. The gin's not half bad either, John.
They were closed.
Yeah, they're.
Well, no, they're only open Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. So yeah, I could have gone in August. They would be closed when I went. So it was midweek. So
I warned them, and they changed their Google page.
They changed their hours. Yeah, right.
I'm kidding. But Providence Brewing Providence Brewing moved in as the second brewery into that venue.
That's right. Revival.
Revival was their first, and the owners of Revival.
And they moved, and Revival moved from Cranston.
Yep.
To that location.
And their old space in Cranston was a temple to geekdom.
That's for sure.
Oh, you had pictures of pages from the Dungeon Master's Guide up on the wall. It was awesome.
And it was pretty big too, even though it looked small from the outside. You walked in the production area, and you had to go around the side to go in the back to the bar in Cranston. But that's 7 years ago in that location. So.
Yeah, they made pizzas there too.
They did.
And they pretty much looped Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah,
nothing in one of those franchises was
pretty much
looped constantly while you were
I still have a bourbon barrel aged stout. I actually found it about a month ago in the mixed bottles, like shoved to the back of the cellar.
Yeah,
so to speak, from them. So it's either going to be really good or not.
No, that's the risk when you age something. Right?
Exactly. So, but it could be fantastic. So we'll have it at, Dave, we'll have it at a share, and we'll talk about it. Definitely. Or if we get up to the Ocean State at some point, we'll bring it with us and have it.
Well, I do plan on, and Carrie and I have talked about it, and I have approval.
You have approval to say this, right?
No, I've got approval to do it.
Right.
Is that we will be going back to Rhode Island in October. And I can't wait. Again, you can see it right here. I miss Rhode Island. I really do. I enjoy being there, even though I was there through COVID. I did a lot of solo travel around the state, and that was a lot of fun.
You did,
and visited every brewery that was open at the time. Every single one of them, and now they've got some new ones open. I've visited a couple of those.
And one closed. One closed.
Two closed.
Two closed? Who's the other one? 12 Guns closed.
And Washington's Crossing.
Oh, Washington's Crossing closed. That's right. Yeah.
So two of them closed. There is one that opened, and I told John about it too late because I told it the day before. I was actually parked outside the front of it.
I was in the lot. In the front of the lot. It's in the back. I didn't know it was there. I walked there. I parked there, and I shouldn't have parked there but there's nowhere else
you're not supposed to park there.
But I did.
If you could see the seafood place from where you parked.
Oh, I know. I know where it was. Yeah. I just didn't know it was a brewery, just because it was over to the other side of the seafood.
It was to the right side of the park.
Right.
Yeah.
But I walked across and went to Moniker. But anyway, so I'll get to that in a second. Let me just pour this second beer. What do you poured your second?
Yeah, I poured the second. This is Louisa.
Yeah, talk about Louisa.
This is their stout, an American stout. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think who Louisa might be named after.
I don't know. He has daughters. I know that. I don't know if one of them is Louisa.
It's possible. Wow, this is an interesting stout. Okay. This is. Oh God, I wish he was here so I could ask him if he smoked this or not. There is. I just don't know if.
Should have saved it for next week.
Yeah, really. I don't know if this is next week, folks, is our Rauch beer show.
Our second annual Rauch beer show
with the Duke of Smoke. Is he the Duke of Smoke or something?
Duke of Smoke. Well, if he's not, he is now.
He is now. He's the Duke of Smoke. But this tastes smoked. I just don't know if it's 100% black patent malts that's doing that. Because black patent malts do have a severe roast quality to it.
Gotcha. I got to put this comment up really quick from Catherine said, it's only 5 p.m. here, so no beer yet. Sometimes I go straight for the whiskey. A little warms me up on a cold night. 100% agree with you.
Which means she's in Northern California.
Oh, she's in Southern Washington, right?
Oh, Southern Washington. That's right. You said it.
I have this right next to me, so if I need to crack it.
Oh yeah, I've got. Well, you know what I've got over there.
I know
that way.
Oh, I have others over here too.
There's quite a bit of whiskey sitting over there.
Mm-hmm.
God, now I want some whiskey, but I can't. I've got to work tomorrow.
Yes, as do I. I have to. Matt and I are brewing at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Well, Matt's brewing and I'm helping.
You're watching.
I'm watching. Well, Matt and Gretchen are brewing.
Very nice.
I will be there to help as well.
Are you doing the sticker alt?
No. We're just we're helping Gretchen out with a brew.
Okay. Cool.
So it's not a collab. We're just assisting.
That works.
We're giving our hand. But in any event, so we'll be there. But I'd like to try to get to that event tomorrow night. But we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to New Jersey news.
Yes, we do have to talk about that.
Let me just get my beer up there. Guess what I'm having? The India Point.
The India Point. Now I want to see your
reaction to this.
Yeah.
Ooh, roast chocolate.
Now go to Untappd and look at my check-in.
Roast chocolate smooth.
It's just roasty and chocolatey.
Roasty and chocolate. There you go. Shocker. We think alike. There you
go. We have learned that our palates are very similar.
Very similar. So,
because that's the whole thing about beer is if you're liking a beer and someone else is not liking a beer, it's not because they're stupid. It's because their palate's different.
Everybody's palate's different.
Oh no, there are a few people I know that are just
no. I know a couple of people that can fit into that category, but we won't mention that now. But,
yeah, you know.
But in any
you know two of them.
I probably know more than that, but
no, that I know.
That you're talking about, right?
That I'm talking about. You can figure them out.
But in any event, but everybody's palate's different. Look, seriously, honestly, and just on a generic thought process here.
Mm-hmm.
If you like a beer, but your friend or your buddy or your spouse or whatever doesn't like it, it doesn't mean that they don't get what you're saying. It means that their palate's different, or it could mean that their palate's different.
And Johnny and I were
more than likely, it means that their palate's different than yours. And palates adjust too, because I'll be honest with you, really quick. Hold that thought, Dave. And I've said this before on the show. The first time I had an IPA, a really grassy, bitter IPA, I almost did a spit take. I'm like, what the hell am I drinking here?
Right.
Now, give me a handful of hops and I'll eat them.
Yeah.
So palates adjust, palates change. So you got to give it some time, especially somebody that isn't as well-versed maybe as you are. Build them up slowly.
Yep.
That's why the lager movement, everybody, this beautiful comeback that lagers and all these lagers are making. It's so perfect now because it can bring a whole new cross section of people that haven't really enjoyed craft beer.
Gateway them right into it
Because it's so perfect for that. And not just pale lagers, getting them into, getting them off of Bud or Miller or whatever, getting them into a pale lager and into some other things. Maybe you hop it up a little bit and you increase it little by little, and that's fine. You can do that. But even the darker lagers, you can get them drinking porters and some other styles too. It's so perfect for the gateway.
Yep. Yeah.
Beers.
Love
amazing.
It.
So,
but where I was going to go is this weekend. John and I, we were both kind of guilty of being those kind of douchebags judging somebody on their palate because we were at Bakes and we're drinking their beer Little Bakes. And John and I are both kind of wondering who's writing their descriptions because neither one of us are getting any pineapple out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I give one to Carrie.
She
goes, "Oh my God, pineapple!"
Like,
see what?
Exactly. And what? I was thinking that too when we were sitting there. We were talking about it, but that's it. It's the palate.
We didn't get it.
We didn't get it. Somebody else did.
Which means her palate's more like the person who writes their descriptions.
Exactly. So it's all subjective. It really is all subjective. And Jeff will be on the show in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. When's the 6th? How long is that? 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. Jeff Baker will be on the show from Bakes Brewing in West Belmar, New Jersey, Wall, New Jersey. It's West Belmar, unless but West Belmar is a section of Wall, just west of Belmar, so it's both.
It's just down the road from one of the windmills.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
And probably
down the road from a windmill and up. It's down the road. It's only 3 blocks away from a windmill.
Yeah, 2.5.
Yeah, but Here we go. And
oh God! And Chuck is going to segue us into our next topic.
Jersey Go Brewing Company, awesome day for craft beer. Cheers, guys. Yes, Chuck, we'll talk about that. You know what? Let's talk about it now. I'll get back to Rhode Island in a little bit. And then we can segue the Rhode Island back to Efren and do our top threes closing out. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the state of New Jersey. Finally
getting their shit together.
The bill is signed. Jersey Go Brewing Company, love it. We love it too, Chuck. Assuming it's Chuck, and if it's anybody else, we apologize. We're assuming it's Chuck.
But to fill everybody in who's not from New Jersey and not been following this story, the New Jersey laws that handle breweries specifically, of which there are none really. There is one, but it's archaic. There was an update for it over a decade and a half ago, 16 years ago, I believe. It's Chuck, he said. But it's been so hard on the breweries because they weren't allowed to have food trucks there. They can't have pop-in kitchens. They can only have 25 events a year. It was really, really some of these stringent rules. And the New Jersey government, they were wise enough to realize that the craft beer industry brings so much tax revenue into the state. It creates jobs, it creates tax revenue. It creates tourism even for people from the surrounding states coming in wanting to visit these breweries, because if you like craft beer, you become a beer tourist. So there's all this money. They knew this. Our Assembly and our Senate unanimously passed a bill to allow more events at the breweries, to allow them to have food, to really release a lot of these restrictions on the breweries. And it went to the governor's desk. And the governor, in his defense, he is a fan of craft beer. He drinks craft beer. He likes his IPAs as much as the next guy. However, he decided in his wisdom to hold this bill hostage and use the breweries as a pawn, as a bargaining chip to get forth his baby. His baby was to reform liquor licenses entirely in the state. And he wanted this sweeping reform, and he wanted too much at once. But he may have been doing that thing where you start off with your bargaining tool and you ask so high, and then you settle for something a little less. And so he wouldn't sign the bill. And so the bill died. It died in committee, so to speak. So they set an assembly, put together another bill. And this one, again, this bill allows the breweries to have unlimited events in their brewery.
Which is a beautiful thing.
Which is what they've wanted to all.
Beautiful. It helps the businesses out so much. You have no idea.
And the one thing that I don't think
we talked about it before this, it was 25 events a year. Now the one thing that's less than one every other week.
And the one thing about it is they need people to understand that many of these events are charity events.
Yeah,
and the breweries aren't making money out of these things.
They're not.
They're giving back to their communities.
They're not.
I would say probably 25 to 35% of events per year in a brewery are charity events, if not more. Right. Depends upon the brewery, of course. And there's some that don't do it at all, but I'm not going to call anybody out. I've got one of the glasses.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm not going to call anybody out, but that's the case. Then the other thing they added into it is that a brewery can partner with a third-party food vendor in order to feed their customers, but they can also serve snacks in the form of like chips and stuff like that.
We already could do that to a point,
and now, but it was allowed under the ruling. It was never written into the law. It's now written into the law, and that's the important thing. A lot of these things were just so bad, but it was an ABC ruling rather than actual law. So now it's in law. The ABC can't do a special ruling anymore.
Well, let's get it from the man himself.
There we go. There's Chuck.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
We can hear you. See, now I just got to say, Chuck has been very happy. Let's call it that. He's been very happy all day.
He may be.
Okay?
He may have been celebrating a little bit.
So he's off camera, folks. So, but we have his voice, and that's the important thing. So there you go.
Okay, before we start talking,
we have his specific picture of that he always takes. Any picture he's in, you'll only really see half his forehead and one eye. So
yeah,
which is
the only time on camera that you may have seen his full face was the launch party of Coastal Brew Works at Cloverleaf Tavern.
Well, you interviewed him, so
where he played a role for us. His wife
Chuck never has a second IPA at home.
His wife was the best. She killed it. She stole. She stole the show.
There you go. Yeah, I know you're going to say Catherine's comment.
Yep.
Catherine, what's considered an event? Catherine, anything other than drinking at the tap room is considered an event. An acoustic guitarist, a paint night, trivia night, championship sports, playoff sports, anything on TV.
Come in and stub your toe night would be an event.
Yeah. If we did a live broadcast of this show from a brewery,
it's an event.
That's an event.
Especially if it's advertised anywhere on social media, it's considered an event.
And you needed state approval before you could even have one of those 25 events.
And you only got 25. That's the you only had.
So Chuck, have at it. Tell us, wax poetic about everything that happened today. Go ahead.
If there's enough time, I'm going to just simply say the team, the breweries, everyone that worked on this bill for the last, I think it's 18 months.
It's about 18 months now, yeah.
About 18 months we've been working on this to get this across the finish line. Eric Orlando is the executive director, Scott Wells from Bolero, Mike Kane. I mean, I could go down the list of guys. Bob King from Lone Eagle, Jeremy Flounder from Flounder Brewing, Ross Brewing, Chuck from Death of the Fox. I mean, I put some pictures up earlier because I don't think people realize how many times that the group that was dedicated to changing this law actually had to get down to Trenton. And every picture you scroll through is actually a different trip to Trenton.
Wow.
I got to guess. I'm going to think it's about 12 to 14 trips down.
Seems about right, yeah.
Is that why Scott is so grouchy all the time? Oh, no. He was like that before.
I can't claim to understand that.
No, that was before.
No basis for understanding that. But I got to tell you, Scott has done
so much.
The thing I've learned about him is he's a relatively quiet guy, but works his ass off for craft beer in New Jersey. Absolutely does behind the scenes and some in front of the scenes, but mostly because that's people giving him accolades for his job well done. Scott Wells has done amazing.
He's a bulldog. He gets his teeth into something.
Right. Absolutely.
And forget about it.
And I think that's for all the brewery owners that are out there.
He's more of a pit bull, I'd say, because once he gets his teeth in, you can't get him to unclamp those jaws.
He's a pit bull. Good thing he owns Bolero. So there you go.
Oh, a little bull pun.
Little bull pun there. So
and for those of you who don't know, that is their shtick. They do bull puns, cow puns.
Except for 1 month last year, they did goat puns.
Goat puns. That was April because it was an April Fool's joke. They only did it for
1 month. They did it for the whole month.
Did they do it for the whole month?
Whole month April.
Oh well, just none of us paid any attention to it for that month.
It was good, but I got to tell you, it's a great day today. I went down
day.
Went down to Manskirt. I drove down to see Joe. We've he'll put a video up later of what we were working on together to celebrate. But
was it a full growler? Was it what were you working on?
I could tell you there was a sword involved.
Did you saber something?
Chuck, did you have a kilt on too? That's the only question. Really.
I did the video. Joe's got the kilt.
Okay, there you go.
I certainly hope that if there's a sword involved, the fact that Joe wears a kilt, that it was a claymore that he was using.
It is. There's a whole story behind the sword. You got to get Joe on to tell you just the story behind the sword. But
we'll have to have Joe back on the show and talk.
Joe's been on. We'll have to have him back on in to talk about that. Yeah,
tremendous story there. But yeah, we were celebrating a little bit, and it's been a great day. Great day for craft beer in New Jersey.
I've been waiting. It's funny. It's ironic.
Cheers to both of us. Cheers to all of us. And cheers to everybody in the state. Cheers to everybody that had anything to do with it, even out-of-state people that were supporting it. Cheers to everybody for that.
I've been waiting for the show to start so I can start celebrating. But the ironic part is we're drinking Rhode Island beer to celebrate.
We're drinking Rhode Island beer tonight. Yeah,
to celebrate one of and the reason why we're drinking Rhode Island beer was because of the guest, and unfortunately the guest couldn't join us. So it's Johnny and I have failed on this point one, but John, we may have to go to a fourth beer and crack open a Jersey beer to celebrate.
We might have to do that.
We
We
may
might have to do that. I probably have some Jersey beer somewhere.
Turn around, son.
Oh, that's right. They're right there.
What is that?
There you go.
I've got Jersey beer coming out of every pore of this room.
I'll pour right in that glass. There you go.
Oh, no. See, I'm going to go a little different to celebrate, and I'm going to pour into this glass.
You're going to pour into drink. There you go.
Nice.
I think that's appropriate. For a show where we're going to have a Rhode Island brewery on, I wore this.
I wore this cap.
So, but it is a big night for a New Jersey beer.
It is. It is definitely.
It's
everything. This is a long time coming. This is it's.
You know what's exciting? If you go to the internet now and you look at all the breweries that are posting the bill, and then the most reward post I think that I just put up probably about an hour ago was the ABC the director Graziano sent a letter out, about a page and a half document, taking back the special ruling, saying that the ABC is no longer authorized to enforce the special rulings, and now subject to bill of law that it's
awesome.
So it's very satisfying to see.
It's not a ruling anymore. It's law.
A law.
It is the law. So
and the fact that the head of the ABC had to eat every single word of the special ruling, that's extremely satisfying.
There are no exceptions. I believe those that are accepted are the TAP issued licenses, because I think they're the transition licenses or the licenses in process is, I believe, how that works. But they're still, unfortunately, held to the special ruling, as I read the words. But all of those that are issued brewery licenses are exempt, and the special ruling is removed. So that was a great post. In addition to the other great stuff that's going on today.
Now, talk about, it's not just the unlimited events and the TVs and all the other stuff and
the food,
but it's the food. Talk about the food. Now we can actually work with.
You can work with a food truck now. You can bring a food truck. I mean, we've been subject by the ABC to this ruling that you have to have your servers trained. They have to have certain training. We use tap. It's like a tap training, but you have to. In the ruling, as you go through the class, it says you can only serve beer. You should only serve beer while you're serving food. People should be eating while they're drinking. And then the ABC came out and said, well, you can't have food. And then they gave us de minimis snacks, which were potato chips and things like that, which was a concession. This is really saying, we want you as a brewery to work with your local restaurants, your local food trucks. We want you to have food in your parking lot now. We want you to have the ability to provide people a safe drinking environment where they can enjoy a craft beer that's made right here in New Jersey and get food from a local restaurant that's right here in New Jersey. It starts to combine all these great industries together again.
But it's important. I think the wording of the law is important here, especially Chuck, considering you're one of the breweries that has the room to do this. And, we're talking about Rhode Island, and I've mentioned this many times about Rhode Island. So many of the breweries would have pop-in kitchens.
Yeah.
Where they'd come in, they'd put up an easy up, they'd bring in their equipment. As long as it met fire code, they could cook inside the brewery and serve from inside the brewery. And the wording of the law doesn't specifically mention the parking lot, doesn't specifically mention food trucks. It says you're now able to work with a third-party vendor, food supplier.
On your licensed premise.
On your licensed premise, which means you can have pop-up kitchens in your brewery.
We're going to baby step into that. I think.
Yeah, of course, everyone's going to.
Yeah,
because you've got so many things involved in there. Because you're going to have to. There might be some other permits that may have to be acquired to cook inside the brewery.
That health department, right?
Sure.
And then there's the health department, of course.
So, absolutely. I think food prep although the bill says no food prep by the brewery, right? We can't
Right.
own a
Right.
food truck. We can't have an investment in a food truck.
You can't profit from it either.
Right. We can't profit from it, but we can have the food trucks outside. I think that's the compromise I think we're all looking for, is the ability to bring in these different flavors, right? A different flavor every week, a different flavor every night. I think a lot of us in the beer world never wanted a kitchen to begin with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If we wanted
It's a
that,
headache.
it is a headache. It's a license.
It's not something that I would ever be interested in doing at the brewery.
John, I thought the same thing. And then I said to myself, well, brew pubs, if they increase the distribution law, right, if they change that distribution law that says, you can only do so much right now. If that changes, which I believe is in this bill, I've got to go back and read it.
It's 40% now, isn't it?
I think it's up to 50%.
Okay.
And the threshold is much higher. I've got to go see what he signed today,
right,
in detail. But, you start to think about it. Well, if I want to do food in a more formal way, and if I want to do beer production in a more formal way, I could get a license for that. I can get a brew pub license, which means I've got to get a serving license for spirits and wines and other alcohols.
Mm-hmm.
But then I could do my own produced beer. I could do other breweries' beers, and I could do spirits, and I could do wine, and I could do food. But that's a whole nother world.
That's a whole nother world, right? Yep. Exactly.
I got into craft beer because I want to produce a product. I want to make a craft beer here in New Jersey, in my hometown in Mount Olive, that people can enjoy across the state, across wherever we're distributed. Right?
Your hometown of Mount Olive.
Hometown Mount Olive.
Don't you serve as some sort of officer in Mount Olive?
Town councilman.
That's what I thought. Okay.
President of the Chamber of Commerce.
There you go.
All that
so
stuff.
Chuck is very, like a lot of the breweries,
newly reelected just last year too.
Yes, reelected. But just like many of the breweries, they're very involved in their neighborhoods, in their communities. Chuck more so than almost anybody else in the industry. So I know the communities have been rooting for this. Those communities that do have breweries have always supported their breweries. So it's an amazing thing, and to see what
this is a great picture from Chuck's golf outing last year.
So,
Coastal Brew Works and Chuck. Right?
Oh God, look at that cast of characters right there.
That's only a fraction. I think we had four or five foursomes of brewery owners or brewery.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the size of that group?
That's huge.
Up in May, I think.
I didn't even see. Actually, did I get the picture? I think I did get the picture of the whole.
There's a picture of all the brewery owners and such that came out. It was huge, tremendous.
Oh wow, you had that many brewery owners. There must have been a lot of lost balls.
There was
and they weren't able to finish each hole too.
It's always a long day of golf, but it's a great charity.
It's a great charity.
How many, when you got that many brewery owners, that much beer flowing during a golf outing, how many golf carts have to be replaced at the end of it?
So, I laugh a little bit because a couple of years ago we had an incident where the owners of the golf course brought me over, and they showed me a golf cart that had been, and they said, "Yeah, Chuck, we think somebody in your group did this," and we couldn't isolate it at the time. And the golf course was very understanding
at the time,
but we now write down what golf cart goes with which person because they're still numbered. We track it to make sure we can understand if an accident happens, and it does. We just want to make sure we understand where the accident happened. That's all.
But I've been in golf outings, and in that golf outing, you'd have like 2 or 3 of the foursomes or craft beer aficionados. I remember one year we the foursome behind us had to catch up to us because we left them a full can of Heady Topper before Heady Topper was available outside the state of Vermont.
Right.
And they had to catch up to us and go, "You can leave us a whole can of Heady Topper. What the hell are you guys drinking on your own?" But that same one, a couple of years later, the organizer and his cohort actually rolled their golf cart.
Yeah, we've never rolled a golf cart.
No, they rolled it, and there was fluids everywhere. When we realized it wasn't blood, we all settled down. But then we realized. When we realized that it was an eclipse 2020, we're like, Oh, that might even be worse. It'd be better if you'd bled.
Yeah, it's a great outing. We put the tickets for sale about a week before St. Patty's Day. Usually out in about a week and a half.
And you count us in again. We'll be there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it this year. I gotta try to make it this year. My golf game sucks. I tell you right now, whatever golf course it's on, I'm giving the worms a heads up. That's the way I tee off the worm burner.
I don't give away too many details because I like to keep some secrets about the golf outing, but I'll say by the third or fourth hole, you're going to be throwing some balls in the woods. That's just nature of a 10%er here or there.
I will concur with what he said.
So
yeah,
I may have to start practicing to March.
But it's a great day nonetheless. So you're gonna want to partake in what he just said. So.
Yeah,
exactly.
Is on the golf course. That's what.
Hey, John, I'm gonna call an audible.
I don't have any cold New Jersey beers up here with me right now, so I have to go to the one we were going to have.
Do I have your permission to call an audible, skip that one, and go straight to a Jersey beer?
You know what? I mean, I can pause for a minute. If you're are you still gonna have the additional Rhode Island beer?
No. I was gonna.
You can drink your Rhode Island beer whenever you want. I'll drink mine now. So there you go.
There we go. That's what I'm gonna say.
New Jersey beer.
I'm gonna, because my beer's all right here.
So what New Jersey beer are you gonna drink right now?
Is it really with arm's length? Are you?
He's got a fridge in his office. Yes, he does.
That is a pro right there. That is.
He's more pro than me. I mean, I have a full bar over here, so I can have bourbon and gin or whatever we want. But
is it
all my beers downstairs? I don't have a fridge up here. So
I've got a full bar right there and my beer fridge.
I will say this because
I may crack this right now.
Everybody thinks the legislation is just for breweries, but it's not.
No, it's for distilleries and wineries.
Wineries, cideries. Yep.
It's our spirits. I mean, it's a lot of benefits to a lot of businesses, not just breweries, which is awesome.
Yep.
So to celebrate, John, I'm going to go with Little Bakes.
Little Bakes. There you go.
And see if I get any pineapple out of it.
There you go.
So this is one of New Jersey's newest breweries.
Mm-hmm.
So cheers to them for entering at the right moment.
At the right moment, yeah. And Jeff will actually be on the show in about 3 weeks too. And one of the texts I was dealing with earlier was Jeff actually. So he's confirmed he'll be on February 6th.
So yeah, now this beer, John, and I don't know if you were listening, Chuck, before you came on, but Little Bakes, when we first went, we were talking about this because they put in their descriptor pineapple. And neither John and I got pineapple out of it. And so we were wondering who does the descriptions because we were being haughty.
It might be Jeff. I don't know. We'll ask him when he comes on the show.
Yeah, but we just might be too full of ourselves to admit.
I wasn't full of myself. I just wasn't getting any pineapple. I was getting. I know.
We were.
I was getting candy orange and white grape.
Right, but we are thinking, oh my God, there's no pineapple in this.
Weird. I saw earlier tonight who has a pineapple allergy. I bet if you gave it to him, he'll tell you if there's pineapple in there.
Yeah, right. There's no actual pineapple in this. We're talking about the flavor profile, but yes,
it's Citra and Nelson. The hops are in.
Oh yeah, well there you go.
You're going to get that. So I came home, put some in the fridge because I bought some. Carrie opens one, and first thing out of her mouth, she's like, "Oh my God, it's a pineapple bomb." It's like, Jesus. Okay.
You know what the split is on the hops? Is it like a 70-30, 60-40 Citra?
I really don't know. Matt and I actually went and we talked to Jeff for a while. Where Matt was there too, and we went in the back and we looked at the brew house and we sat with Jeff for a while and we talked to him. He's coming on the show in about 3 weeks.
Oh God, I thought you guys both went to the bathroom together like you used to.
No. We were talking with Jeff, and I didn't even post the picture yet on Coastal, but we took the obligatory picture, right? In any event, I didn't really ask him about that. We were talking about other things. I didn't think about the one beer we had earlier, but you're going to keep that because you bought a 4-pack of it. I'll run over and get some other stuff too before he comes on. But we'll ask him about it on the show. Like I said, I got
more to drink on the show.
Out of that beer he's drinking, I got candied orange and white grape. Now you mix candied orange and white grape. It's not far out of the realm of possibility to get pineapple out of that. So.
No. And John, out of the can, guess what I'm getting?
Pineapple. There you go.
It's in the nose. It's on the palate. Again, and I've said this many times. Sometimes what you get out of a beer could be an absolute mindfuck, where someone says, "Hey, I get this." You drink it, and you get exactly what they got. Now, is it because you've got the same palate? Sometimes, more than likely, right? I would say that's the case. But sometimes, maybe it's just because they mentioned it that now you're looking for
you're
it,
thinking about it. You're looking for that particular flavor.
and you find it. So
Right.
that might be why I'm getting pineapple.
Also,
Now,
how the can of beer, how they treated that can of beer down, right? Once it left the brewery, was it warmed up? Was it cooled down? Was it shifted around? How was it transported?
It was in the back of my car the whole time, and it was a cold day.
He had just canned that earlier that week, so it was a brand new batch of beer, and Dave bought it. He probably bought it 5-6 days into.
It's the day of the snow squalls, so we know it was cold.
Oh, yeah.
It was Sunday,
and I don't run the heat in the car usually.
I like pineapple in a beer. I think it's a nice combination depending on the beer. Is it just an IPA? Is it a hazy?
Yeah,
IPA?
it's a 6 something.
I think it's a New England Pale Ale.
It's a 6. It's a 6. It's an India Pale. They call it an India Pale.
They're calling New England Pale.
It's a single IPA.
It's little bakes. I'm pretty sure we'll talk more about this with Jeff in 3 weeks when he's on the show. But I'm pretty sure that he kind of made that name after his son, who helps him out every now and then by handing him things at the brewery while he's brewing beer.
Hold it up.
And he lives right in Wall too. His son's younger, and
was he the one
early teens?
Was he the one clearing the table?
No, that was
glassware.
No, that wasn't. Okay. No, it was somebody else. But in any event,
you put it up the glass just to see the colors.
Oh yeah, you get right there.
Oh yeah, that's got nice head, nice color.
Yeah, right. This is stuff and the head's settled down a little bit since I poured it.
Good.
It's a very well done beer. Because Kerry wanted me to bring back the
Oh, it was fantastic. It was definitely like his.
She's like, bring me back the best IPA they've got, and I went through the 3 that they had, and like the other 2 are very, very good. Do not get me wrong, but this was the class of the 3. Mm-hmm. I really, really enjoyed this, so I brought this home, and I'll save one for the show when he's on.
One for the show when he's on. I'll throw mine up right now. Dave's not going to have this tonight. He'll have it another time.
No, I'll have it another night.
I grabbed 2 cans of this while I was up at Providence Brewing from Efren. I'm having Pound Town. So there's the can. It's a pretty can. It's a pretty can, right? So there's their logo. There's Providence's logo. Providence Brewing Company. And it's Pound Town is the name of the IPA. It's a New England IPA. There's the info right there. And I poured it into this glass.
Wow, that's
because I didn't have a New Jersey beer to put in, so I figured I'd use a New Jersey glass. How's that? So there you go.
There we go. It matches your shirt, John. Coincidence?
Coincidence.
And I think not.
And the cans in the background.
And the cans in the background, right there.
You're off camera. You're off camera now.
No, yeah.
Oh, the cans. But there's one off. There's one.
No, because I actually did just take out. If you remember, the Giants Christmas villages were there.
Yeah,
they went away the other day.
So you mean the special award-winning village?
Oh yes, Chuck. Did you see that?
No. What did I miss?
Okay, so Jess's Christmas Village. You see Jess's Christmas Village.
Okay, let's preface this with the fact that his partner in life right now has managed to get herself in Runner's Magazine and a whole bunch of newspapers and that because she happened upon Danny DeVito on the boardwalk while jogging.
This is last June. That was last June.
I got herself in Runner's Magazine for this,
and in print, and all over the internet, and in print, in the Star Ledger and the Staten Island Advance picked it up too. Wow. Danny DeVito was actually in town, and she was running by, and she happened upon him, and she says, "Oh my God!"
Happened upon
him, right?
Fell upon him.
He actually started talking to her and asked if she wanted a picture. So she took a picture with him and she posted it in on one of the local Facebook groups. And some people took it and ran with it from there. It just went viral. Yeah. So anyway,
a lot of stuff. Is he doing Jersey Mike's?
It's Jersey Mike's. Yeah.
Mike's,
It was at Jersey Mike's in Belmar when he saw him. Yeah. And he was actually in town because that was the day he was actually donating $500,000 to Jersey Shore Medical.
That's so good. Awesome.
Right.
Which is what it was called, Fitkin Hospitals, where I was born.
Which you were born, right? So
hold on, what was that? What was it
Jersey
called?
Shore Medical Center used to be called Fitkin Hospital.
Oh.
And so when you look at the oldest section of that hospital, it's still standing. That was Fitkin. That's where I was actually born.
Wow.
There you go.
Did not know that.
There you go. But I was born in Belleville.
He needs to go back to Belleville. You mean the psychiatric ward?
Not Bellevue. Belleville.
Not Bellevue. Okay, my bad.
Bellevue? What?
All right. Anyway,
as if I didn't know.
Anyway, so she does her Christmas Village. Chuck, I know you've seen the Christmas Village. You know her posts and everything else, right? So WPIX Channel 11 in New York, they had a contest sponsored by Bob's Discount Furniture for the best holiday display. This is last month, right, in December. So she put a picture of her Christmas Village up, and she won. She won the contest. So the other morning on the news, she was actually on the news talking about her Christmas Village on Channel 11, talking about her Christmas Village, and she won the contest. Yeah.
Oh, she must have been in heaven for that.
She was like a pig in, the proverbial slop,
So you immediately decided to remove it from the background? Is that what you're saying?
No.
He's now living in her shadow.
Right. Yeah, I just had to take it down. Just
get rid of that.
Get rid of it.
And I don't know if John, you caught this when we were all together at Bakes, and I saw her at Bakes. I said, "You need a ring that I can kiss." What's going on?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Yeah, she's actually on the news the other morning.
That's great.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I'll shoot you the link to. There's actually a video. They have it up on their website. I'll shoot you the link to it. But anyway, yeah, this is fantastic. The Pound Town. I think I'll take the scroll off. It's been up there the whole time we've been talking.
So how is it? Anyway, how is the Pound Town?
It's very good. It's very good. It's Mosaic, Simcoe, and Galaxy.
Yeah.
And you generally don't see a Mosaic and Galaxy beer with Simcoe in it.
Right.
But it's working really well. I'm getting the mango. I'm getting that huge tropicalness with a little bit of pininess.
But John,
I know it's not.
Are you getting pineapple?
I'm not getting.
No, but John, are you getting pineapple?
Oh, I'm not getting any pineapple. I'm not. There's no pineapple.
Just checking.
I know what he was asking.
Chuck.
No pineapple. No pineapple. Yeah, there's a big bitter pine, but it's surrounded by guava and mango and tropical fruit.
I love it when Simcoe gets combined with hops that kind of wash out the cat pee a little bit, right, and enhance the pininess of Simcoe.
Exactly.
Those are my favorite. And the weird thing is
what's happening here. Yeah.
The weird thing is when you went to Weyerbacher Simcoe didn't have a lot of cat pee in it. And I don't know how they did that. It was mostly pine.
It was double Simcoe as well. It was
I don't know what it was.
It was all Simcoe, and it was mostly pine. I mean, if you really thought about what you were drinking, you could pull the cat pee out of it.
Yeah, you could. But it was mostly pine, and most other straight up Simcoes.
Folks, if you're not understanding what we're saying, cat pee is an actual cat pee, right? It's just
a flavor profile, it's not as awful as it sounds.
Yeah,
it's not as awful as it sounds. It's what we're saying here is it's the beer nerds way of, rather than saying, oh, it's quite sulfuric.
Right. Sulfuric pine or piney sulfur.
Yeah. We've got to put something in there a little more.
We got to call it
tongue in cheek.
A little tongue in cheek. Yeah.
Yeah. And go with cat pee on it.
Right,
so
exactly.
Great hop. Sometimes it goes off the rail a little bit. You got to.
There are some, and it's a shame. And I hope Catherine's still listening, because she could really back us up on this, because the Pacific Northwest, a lot of the hops out of there are, it's where I think the cat pee flavor profile was born, was in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, 100%.
Well, it's where Simcoe's from,
right? So
anyway,
the
Yakima Valley.
The Yakima Valley.
Yeah,
Galaxy's a great hop, though. Good gosh, from Australia, right? New Zealand, Australia, that area.
Motueka?
Galaxy.
Galaxy.
Yes.
Yeah, no, Galaxy, Australia. Yeah, Galaxy's down there. Yeah.
It's a beautiful hop. Love that
It's
hop.
beautiful. There's the tropical notes of that.
What was it? Augie used to refer to Galaxy as the sluttiest of the hops.
People have said. I mean, people have said that about Citra. They said that about Mosaic.
Well, but for different reasons. Oh no, it was Mosaic. He would call it was Mosaic. You're right. It wasn't Galaxy. It was Mosaic that he called the sluttiest of the hops.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mosaic you could put in with any other hop and it worked with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Citra may have been called that only because everybody loves it,
and then if you take Citra, Mosaic, and Galaxy,
yeah.
Oh wow, you've got an orgy.
The trifecta of happiness, right there.
You got that. You got that beer right there.
Oh,
that's an orgy in a can.
There you
go. Crack the
but the most important thing is the most key word.
By the way,
is Trojan. Because
Trojan.
if you're going to the orgy, bring them.
Bring a Trojan, yeah, folks. Those of you just listening to the audio podcast, I pulled out a can of Coastal Brew Works Trojan Seahorse. That's
yes. So, anyway, well, that went. Speaking of going off the rails, Chuck.
Speaking of going off the rails a little bit,
I took that straight off.
Hey, we talked about a lot about New Jersey, though. So we've done it.
Yeah,
while you're on the show, anything you want to throw out there from Jersey Girl? Anything new you guys are doing? Anything you're putting out?
We've got Shark Attack, our Irish Red is coming out.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
At least wake up and smell the coffee.
Oh. You're not barrel aging any of that, are you?
No, not this.
Because you know how I feel about the barrel age version you did. You did like years ago, right?
I have some of those bottles, in my office. So
please crack one the next time I come up.
Come
by.
And John, let me know when you're going up there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll imagine wake up, smell the coffee in maple barrels.
We've done it in bourbon barrels. We've done it in a wide variety of barrels. It's just a great.
But have you done it in maple barrels, Chuck?
Towards barrel aging. But,
have you done it in maple?
You got to do it. You got to do it in maple. Do it in bourbon barrels and finish it in a maple barrel.
Yeah.
I remember one we did. We did it it was like a honey. We did honey in a bourbon barrel. It was absolutely delicious. Small batch. Oof, it was so good. But more excited. We have our 8th anniversary coming up.
Yes, you do.
Yep, April, right after the golf outing that we talked about earlier. We have
the golf outing was in May.
Oh yeah, it is. Sorry, wrong way.
April comes before. How much have you been
right
celebrating
before the golf outing? Yeah. when in April is it?
So we're going to do it. Our anniversary is actually April 15th. So it's going to be right, I believe, after the 15th is going to be. Well,
geez, you know where I'm going to be on the 15th? I'm going to be.
Hold on. While he's saying this.
Yes. Oh, somebody's not.
You know where I'm going to actually be on the 15th, John? I think the 15th is the day we're going to Bamberg.
Somebody's not invited.
Finger stays right up, right there.
Because we get into. Oh, hold on. No, wow. I don't think it is. We're either going to be in Munich or Bamberg.
Either way, you got 2 of them for that.
What day? Okay. What day do you return?
We're going to be in Munich. So we're going to land in Germany on the 12th.
Okay.
On the 17th, we're landing in Munich. We're going to Bamberg on the 14th. We're going to Freising on the 16th. The 17th, we jump a train to Prague, and then we got 3 days in Prague.
Wow. Prague is going to be gorgeous.
Okay, I'm actually going to try to contact the airlines and ask them how much extra to delay our return a day. Because I've got us returning on a Friday. Why? Why not spend one more day and come
back on Saturday? Yeah, that makes sense. Chuck, on that note, the anniversary is the 15th. So when are you starting the anniversary celebration?
We're going to go the weekend before and after because it kind of straddles. It straddles a couple of weekends there.
I won't be here
because I'm going to be honest with you. The weekend before is AC Beer Fest.
The 5th and the 6th, right?
No, it's the 13th, 12th and 13th.
12th and 13th, yeah. We're not going. We are not going down to AC Beer Fest, unfortunately, this year.
Apparently, neither am I.
Thinking about doing the Summer Fest.
Oh, so there's two.
That's the one in July. Yeah, it's the one in July.
Yeah, the one in July. I heard there's camping involved.
There's camping involved that night. Yeah.
Yeah, I might.
Oh God, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's
That's just one big bottle share. That's all that is.
all that
I looked
is.
at the guys and said, "Yeah, we're doing the camping thing, right?"
Yeah.
And all that does is make the day of the event that much harder.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure.
But
But
the weekend after though, the 20th is a Saturday, and I know we're heading out to Las Vegas that day.
Oh, you're not going to be. So why are you making me feel bad? You're going to be.
I'm going to Germany. He's going to AC.
And you're
AC, and
It's CBC. It's CBC.
Yeah, we're not going to CBC. We went last year. We had a great time, huh?
Yeah, we did. We had a great time.
Awesome. Yeah, Vegas.
guys, I will be right back.
Go pee. Go ahead.
All right, we'll be here.
There
Get more beer.
you
I
go.
gotta tell you, I would go to Vegas. I would go to AC Beer Fest. It's just, you know what? There's going to be a great party at Jersey Girl, right?
No, you know what? I feel bad. So let's put it this way. My point is, we're doing AC Beer Fest. We're going to Vegas, but I will be up in Mount Olive by you during the week in between before we go.
That sounds
Yeah.
good. I'll be.
We'll definitely be up there for that. So we'll be celebrating with you in between both weekends of celebration.
I tell everybody if you text me and let me know you're coming, the door's always open.
We're not leaving till Saturday anyway, so we can even come up
Okay.
on Friday. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
You missed Captains of Leisure. We have Captains of Leisure as our big anniversary beer band. They're 9-piece, 3-piece
wow,
section. They're playing actually this Saturday. We got them in this Saturday. We're gonna do
it's coming Saturday.
Yeah, John Zale's coming down on Friday night, and then Captains of Leisure's coming in Saturday. So we're gonna try to do a big music weekend at the brewery. It should be
Nice. Maybe I can get up there for this weekend. I'll let you know. Definitely.
Yeah, let me know.
That's a
Absolutely.
possibility for me as well. So we'll see.
Oh, it's gonna be a big party. I think everybody should go out this weekend and just celebrate craft beer.
That's
because
it.
a
That's it.
lot of breweries-
I agree.
Are you
I
getting down? Are you getting down by Jan tomorrow? Are you going down to
I
Mike's thing at
heard it.
Jan's?
tomorrow. I just literally got the message. I've got to check. I got to check and see if I can get down there. I heard Channel 12 is going to be down there. I heard New Jersey.
Channel 12 is going to be down there. Yeah, they're going to be down there.
Cthulhu's going to be broadcasting.
Yep. And Matt and I are most likely going to go. We're actually brewing with Gretchen in the morning, but that's in the morning, so we're going to go up there afterwards. So let me know if you're going to go. Definitely, we'll hook up.
I won't be able to make it. One of my vendors from work is taking us all out to a high-end steakhouse in Manhattan. So
yeah, how much beef can you eat? Come on.
It's not just
high-end. Come on.
It's going to be also the wine that's going to flow, the bourbon that's going to flow, and the grappa that's going to flow.
Grappa, you got me. There you go.
There you go.
Open.
Yeah.
If you said 20, I would have gone with a 20. 20, you would have had me there, but
Oh no, you're talking port now when you're talking tawnies.
I love ports. I love 20.
Oh no, see,
I'm talking about after dinner drinks.
Oh yes. No, I agree. I've got what I got sitting right here, man. This thing is beautiful. If you haven't had this,
there's a bottle of 20 port right there, 10-year-old
Nice.
port right there.
Atma 20 is a beautiful 20.
I got a full bar back here. I just don't have any cold beer in this office. So.
I will say one thing. I'm not impressed
Nice.
with that one so much, but
I don't have any grappa. That I don't have. However, Dave and I can tell you a story about grappa. What last October 2022?
now the vendor that's taking us, the story that John's is about to mention is the gentleman from that, and he actually is a gentleman. And you get him and I together, and there's always grappa involved. And I bring him every time I go out to visit him. I bring him bottles of grappa, and not the last one, the bottle before that. John got to partake of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And do I not bring good grappa?
Oh, the grappa was amazing. But here's the thing, Chuck. It was one bottle of grappa, and the only people that were drinking it were me, Dave, and Jim. The three of us. That was
just us.
We finished the bottle in 2 hours.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I love grappa. I think grappa is so underrated. I think people don't fully understand grappas, tawnies, any of these after dinner drinks that help you break down the fats after a big meal and help you. They're digestive agents. They break down the fats and go to Europe,
rationalize it any way you want, Chuck.
Exactly.
Really, if you go to Europe, it's the after dinner drink that
It
helps.
is. It's a digestif. It's a digestif. Yeah,
I'm just joking because I know these things.
You got a pre-game, you got a middle game, you got a post-game. You got to throw it all in that game.
You got to throw it all in the game.
Yes, you've got your aperitif. You drink while you're eating, and then you got the digestif afterwards. Yes,
that's right.
I'm going to throw this up from Catherine at Worldwide Beer Fest. She said, "I'll drink to that." We're talking about it. She says the New Jersey craft beer scene is about to get a lot more interesting.
She's not wrong at all.
Not wrong at all.
The one thing that the signing of this law is going to do is it's going to stem that potential exodus. Right, we lost one brewery during it.
14
as an exodus. We had a lot of breweries closed because of it. Yeah. We had some that just decided they were going to jump across the river and go into Pennsylvania because they're nicer to their breweries there. So we did lose. We lost the Efren to Pennsylvania.
The Efren. We lost the Efren blender.
And that's the only one we lost. But this is going to stem.
The only one we lost to jumping ship. There were breweries that closed. Chuck just said 14 breweries in the last 3 years. 3 years.
Yeah. So. Okay. This will hopefully stop that.
Are you including Jamie in that?
I talked to Jamie. She said it's the landlord.
It's the landlord. Oh, no, it's the landlord.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just talking about the total numbers of closing. The total numbers,
is that 14 include Jamie? That's my point.
Yeah, I would. I'd throw it in there. I think there's an indirect negative connotation for landlords that have an opportunity to lease a property when they associate it with brewery, and brewery has a connotation of the state's against you, the town's against you, everybody's against you. How sustainable is that lease, right?
Absolutely. And the point I made right in the beginning.
Yep.
And it's an uphill battle for people. I know our lease is up next May.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day on the one group.
Yep. Yeah. The one group that we just allowed John in.
That you two just allowed me in. Yes.
It's hard.
No, it's a group about me.
It's a group about John, and it's about his rants, and we do betting based on his rants during the football season. So because we do that, we can't allow him in the group during football season. Otherwise, it might impact his rants.
So I'm in the group now, solidly now until August, and then I'm out again.
And then we have. And we have decided that just before the season, he will be unceremoniously booted out of the group. Yeah. And when that happens, Chuck is going to be brewing a beer called Unceremonious. Right. And we decided it's going to be a wee heavy.
Right.
Wee heavy, unceremonious boot.
I like that. There we go.
If somebody hands me a wee heavy to drink, you can have any ceremony or unceremonious ceremony you want. That's just that works for me. Catherine just said, she says, "I'm a lightweight. If I drink Underberg or anything like that, it's bad news." She said.
There you go. Oh man. So yeah, so that beer will come out. We're probably kidding. I don't know if Chuck's actually going to do this. we're trying to talk him into.
Well, wee heavy in August is probably not a good idea anyway.
Probably not a good idea.
Heavy works any time of the year.
I agree.
I'll drink it any time of the year, but to release it in August, yeah.
I'm not taking it, but
that's true. Fair enough.
It could be a great this weekend for craft beer.
Oh, hell yeah. It's going to be great. Let me know. Definitely let me know, though, if you're going down by Yon tomorrow at Jersey Cyclone.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get.
Hey, Chuck, question for you.
Sure.
Are you a Talking Heads fan?
Absolutely.
Are you?
So
you're sticking around for the top threes then?
Why not?
I'm hoping they've worked out their differences and can give us one tour. Just give us one more tour. Come around, hit the big venues. I'm sure they'll pack them out. But I'm hearing they've worked out their differences and they're considering touring.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I almost went to see David Byrne in about 5 years ago. Yeah. And I didn't, unfortunately, I couldn't get up there. It was actually, it would have meant going up to the Finger Lakes to see him. But
it doesn't sound awful.
It's not, it doesn't suck. It wouldn't have sucked.
I got to get.
I heard he apologized for being a dick for as many years as he was.
Wow.
Saying I apologize, and I was not a good man. But that's
good for him.
At that point in life, and you have that reality moment, and you realize
exactly.
Good for him. Kudos to him.
Sure. I hope.
I hope so too. If they do tour, if they put their stuff together and they get over it and they go out once more, we'll go together.
Yeah, we all gotta go together.
We'll go.
As long as they do a Kiss thing and do avatars at the end of Kiss, like
oh no, please don't do that.
no PlayStation
skip
avatar.
that. Actually, absolutely.
How far have they fallen? We've come from a band who during a concert, their lead guitarist's hair catches on fire. And the guitarist just continues to sing backup and play guitar while they put his hair out.
Right, yeah.
And continues the concert.
Right.
And now they have friggin' avatars.
And now they have avatars for them.
But they were one of the last 2 concerts before COVID. And I remember distinctly, it was at the Prudential Center, both of them, Kiss and then ELO. ELO.
Oh, God. John, who's my favorite band of all time?
Your favorite band of all time?
Yeah.
ELO.
ELO, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who's my favorite band of all time?
Oh, that'd be Rush. The only reason, Chuck, I didn't go to that show is because that's no longer ELO.
Well,
that's Jeff Lynne's ego on stage.
It's Jeff. Yes,
that's all it is.
All I have to say, and everybody said this for years, but I agree 100%. But if there was no Beatles, there's no ELO.
Right.
And also,
I will say this:
John Lennon's biography. They asked him if the Beatles were still together today, what band would they most sound like? And he said, ELO.
ELO. Yeah.
Yeah, because Jeff Lindsay's doing all the producing.
Okay.
If you listen to the harmonies, you listen to.
I get it. I get that ELO was Jeff Lynne.
Hours. I'm a huge Beatles fan. I could go on for hours. The most.
It's UNESCO Beatles Day.
What's that?
It's UNESCO Beatles Day.
Today is what?
Yeah.
Today's Beatles Day.
UNESCO
Beatles Day.
Oh.
Which is actually a fake holiday, but we celebrate it anyway because hey, bring it up, talk about it. We'll celebrate it.
Yeah, Jeff Lynne had a lot to do with the anthology, and when you hear, free love and stuff, you just sense it. It's okay.
And you can feel his production. He produced George Harrison's last 2 albums, Tom Petty's last album.
It's a fingerprint.
Roy Orbison's last album. He produced everything for the Traveling Wilburys. And for those of you who don't know who Jeff Lynne is, he's the Traveling Wilbury that you did not know.
Right. Big pair sunglasses. You can't miss him.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the white boy fro.
It was an awesome show, bro. If you could have been there, could have come up to the box. It was awesome. It was
the last concert I saw prior to the pandemic. I've seen concerts since, but prior to the pandemic, the last concert I saw was actually probably 4 months before the pandemic started, maybe a little bit longer. It was in Madison Square Garden. It was Hootie and the Blowfish with Bare Naked Ladies opening.
We know why you went.
Yes, you do.
You had to because you were told to.
Well, I wasn't told to.
Come on, Hootie and the Blowfish.
I think my last show before that was actually the church. Before the pandemic.
You did see the church.
Yeah, at White Eagle Hall in Jersey City. That's a really neat venue, by the way.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
Oh, the church. Yeah, I love them. They're something else.
Yeah.
The White Eagle Hall had just opened for concerts like only a couple months prior. They really did not have their acoustics dialed in. I'll tell you that.
I love live music. I love all kinds of live music. We do live music at the brewery every weekend. I mean, we have a band.
Now you can do it anytime you want.
Anytime you want. And we're talking about the Beatles, right?
Yeah.
The
first single that the Beatles are released was
Love
Me Do, wasn't it?
Love Me Do. Right. The single release. Not the album cut. The album cut had Ringo Starr playing drums.
Mm-hmm.
The single release, George Martin, the producer, did not like Ringo Starr.
Okay.
Drumming, right? So there's tambourine on it. So if you hear a version of Love Me Do that there's tambourine on, it's not the album. If you heard there's no tambourine, it's Ringo Starr playing drums, there's no tambourine on it. Wow. If you hear a version of tambourine, It's Ringo Starr playing tambourine,
and Jersey Johnny on drums.
It's me. No. It's a session musician, a studio musician from Scotland, actually in the UK at the time, named Andy White. Andy White's playing drums on that single version of Love Me Do, the one that most people hear with the tambourine on it, right?
There are quite a few songs where Ringo did not.
There is me and Andy White right there.
Oh, look at this.
Andy White was my neighbor for 4 years in Caldwell.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. The stories I heard from
was it his house that burnt down?
No.
He was on the other side.
He was on the other side of the street, and he passed away a year before the fire.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, the stories I heard from that man, he loved to just talk about, what he did with the Beatles, what he did with he used to go on tour with Marlene Dietrich all the time. The stories I heard from him was amazing.
From what I understood, she was not a musical act.
She was.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I miss the days of concerts. Remember the late 80s, every time you go down to Brendan Byrne, and I think we've talked about this before, so if I have, we could stop, but Brendan Byrne Arena, you'd go down there almost every Saturday night was a different concert.
Oh yeah.
And different. I mean, it was $15 to get in and you had a great concert.
Yep. And that place, it always felt like you were going to shake that place to the ground.
I saw Journey in 82, May of 82. I had decent seats and it cost me $14.
That was the first that's the first place I ever saw Bruce.
There you go.
Wow. That was awesome.
I also saw the Eagles on the Hell Freezes Over tour there.
Yep.
Squeeze,
Oingo Boingo.
Oh yeah, bro.
Nice.
And Oingo Boingo, then Squeeze by themselves.
Oingo Boingo.
Squeeze, I saw Squeeze at Summer Stage this year, and for the most part, they still have it. And it's funny because Carrie didn't know them too well. She knows them very well now. She's become a big fan.
Big Squeeze fan.
Oh, because they're amazing.
My best Brendan Byrne story has got to be 87, December 87. Was going to see Rush on Saturday night. Okay. The Rush concert got pushed to Sunday night. I'm sorry. Was going to see Rush on Sunday night. The concert got pushed to Monday night because Saturday night was the Frank Sinatra, who was it? Frank Sinatra, Liza Minnelli, Sammy Davis Jr. The three of them were performing on Saturday night.
Oof.
And Frank Sinatra's band forgot their sheet music. They didn't have it with them. So they had to cancel the show and postpone it to Sunday night, which pushed Rush to Monday night, right? So we go Monday night to the show, and they come out, and, Rush comes out, and they play the first three songs, and then Geddy steps up to the mic, and he starts talking after the third song. And he says, how are you doing tonight? Blah, 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 blah. Talks for a couple minutes. He says, all right, we got about 3 hours of music for you. And we're going to get right to it. And we don't need any sheet music. So let's go.
Oh, nice.
Can you believe it's like 4 years since Neil Peart passed away?
4 years.
4 years. Yeah. 4 years.
I know.
4 years last week.
I will always know when it was because it was just before I moved to Rhode Island. Because I had an impromptu going away party at Carton.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I told Augie, I said I'm gonna hit Carton before I go because I need to bring some boat with me. And I said, so when should I show up? He goes, well, show up at 10. I'm like, but the brewery closes at 10. It's like, that's the point.
Mm.
But the thing is, we all know how huge of a fan Augie is of Rush.
Mm.
Augie would go. He was going through periods. All we did was play. He played Rush the whole time.
Right.
We're all singing the songs at the top of our lungs. Probably every single one of their hits, at least 5 times we sang. There were times where, Augie was elated, and there was times where he was in tears over it because it was about a week after Neil had passed, and Augie was still in mourning over. So
somebody posted earlier. Was it today or within the last couple of days? They posted in one of those groups. I think it was the rock and roll diehards Facebook group.
Right.
And they posted who was the death of which musician hit you the hardest, and 100% it was Neil Peart.
Well, I could have told you that about you. You were, I think, the first person I texted when it happened to see if they were right.
You were
August.
And you were the first person. I was the first person you texted. Augie was the first person I texted.
And Augie was the second person I texted, and Leon, God rest his soul, who passed last year. He was the third person I texted.
Wow.
So I wouldn't know who that would be. The death of an artist that hit me the hardest. It might have been the big man.
Yeah, I mean, Clarence Clemens is up there. I think probably John Lennon's probably number 2 for me.
Who?
John Lennon.
Yeah, well,
Because of the
how. Yeah, that was. But I think that was a global.
Too, right?
It
was the way, the method, and the timing, your age, how young you were,
right?
Impressionable kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, that was big.
I missed them all. Neil Peart was a big one. We did a beer called Neil Peart Porter. We did a port for him. I think there's been a lot of great musicians that pass. You can't hardly keep up with it anymore. Now we're getting to that, unfortunately.
Well, because we're all getting old.
Yeah. They're just, you look at the old MTV videos and you go, gosh, those guys are all dead.
They're gone. Yeah. They're gone.
They're all just like, holy cow, how old am I?
Right. Exactly.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, enough of dead musicians.
Enough of this, but really quick before you go, Chuck.
But Brennan Byrne, the other thing that I saw Clapton on the Journeyman tour.
Nice.
And a very unheard of musician opened for him. Sheryl Crow.
Oh, Sheryl Crow, of course.
Sheryl Crow opened up for Eric Clapton. Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Before the only thing anybody knew from her was just want to have fun. Something. What's the name of that song?
Girl, yeah, but she was discovered.
No, all I want to do is have some fun.
Not girls just want to have fun. That's
girls. That's Cindy Lauper.
Yeah, Don Henley.
That's ELO. What?
Yeah,
Don Henley discovered her.
Yeah, she
really.
He did.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because when you talk about people who were discovered by weird people, Mickey Dolenz discovered Hendrix.
No way, really? The Monkees?
The Monkees.
You
the friggin' Monkees are the ones who decided Hendrix had to open for them at a particular concert. Their promoter said, "You're out of your mind." They're like, "We walk if you don't put him on."
What?
Look it up. They're the ones.
Look it up. I never heard that, but that's wild.
Yeah, it was, and it was Mickey Dolenz.
Wow.
Mickey Dolenz.
Those Monkees did a lot in a short amount of time for a TV show.
For a TV show and for that.
For people who thought they were just a bunch of goofballs.
They weren't a group. They got thrown together as a band for the show.
Yeah.
And
but for musicians. They were actually guys that played music.
And Mickey Dolenz is the only one left.
He is.
He is.
Last man standing. That's why I think Ringo's going to be the last man standing from the Beatles. I hate to say it. I love Paul McCartney. I really think he's talented. I love what he does, but I think the drummer's going to be the survivor. The guy that
and Ringo's older than Paul.
Yeah.
By a year, but he's older than Paul. Yeah.
He has all the health issues. Remember when he was growing up in younger days, he make it. Now he's going to be the survivor.
I've seen Paul. I've seen Paul twice. I've seen Ringo once.
I've only seen Ringo once.
Mm-hmm. You know, you talk about George Harrison. You talk about people who've gone. There's a concert, and while my guitar gently weeps, they're playing, and it's all these great guitar players on stage, and then Prince comes out. And I'm sure everybody's seen it, but
I've seen it.
Out and does a solo.
Wasn't that
a solo from Purple Rain?
I thought wasn't that a Hall of Fame induction?
I don't know if it was Hall of Fame. I just know it comes up. It's George Harrison tribute, and I know Tom Petty's up there and the other guys. I mean,
I thought it was a Hall of Fame.
It's everybody. What you're saying, though, Chuck, is everybody on stage is all gone.
Yeah,
basically.
Mostly.
For the most part, there's a couple that are left, but yeah.
I mean, that was a huge shock. Prince.
Prince, yeah.
Who would have thought Prince was going to go? That guy was writing music with his eyes closed. He'd sleep songs, and they'd be.
Yeah. He wrote songs that other people charted #1 with.
Yep.
Tom Petty's gone.
Yeah. I mean, and one of those who charted #1 with one of his songs just passed last year. Sinead O'Connor.
Oh my gosh, yeah. He wrote music for other people. He was like the Bee Gees, right? When the Bee Gees were popular, when the Bee Gees weren't making hits, they couldn't be the front guys. They would sell their songs, and Andy Gibb would do the background vocals. But they were selling tons of albums after disco because nobody wanted disco. But they sold a lot of hits in the 80s.
They did. One quick other music thing I just want to say: the coolest place I ever saw any band It was a tiny venue. It was in Palisades Park, New Jersey. It was called the Soap Factory. All right. And I saw Blue Oyster Cult. All right.
Wow.
All right. This arena rock band I saw at the Soap Factory. That was amazing. So that was pretty cool.
Neat.
Let's do our top three really quick.
While we still got Chuck.
While we got Chuck on before he goes. So our top three tonight is, on the music note, top three favorite Talking Heads songs. We picked this category. We picked Talking Heads because Talking Heads are actually from Providence, Rhode Island.
David Byrne went to RISD.
He went to RISD,
which is the Rhode Island Design School.
School of Design.
School of Design. RISD.
And obviously Efren was coming on from Providence Brewing.
And Efren is a huge Talking Heads.
He's a huge Talking Heads fan. So we have his top three. He gave it to me before.
So we're gonna to give Chuck a little time.
Chuck, you think about your top three.
I got him. I'm already. Dude.
You got him. Do it. Let's go.
Okay.
Run them off, guys.
You want me to go? Really? Want me to go first?
Go first.
No, do Efren's first.
I'll do Efren's first.
Fourth, we could do one each. I don't care. But I got one of them.
I'll do Efren's first.
Okay.
Efren's number 3 is Slippery People. His number 2 is Mind, but the live at WBCN version, the live version.
And it's hard to disagree with his number 1.
And his number 1 is
such a great song.
Cross-Eyed and Painless.
It's an amazing song.
So there you go. He definitely going deeper cuts when it comes to things. So, all right, Chuck, have at it.
I'm going to go. So I just remember the moment in time when I heard Road to Nowhere for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And it spoke. It was at a point in my life where it actually, I reflect, I go, yeah, where am I on a road to nowhere? Am I absolutely going to do nothing in life? It was kind of like a weird moment with that song, but I thought that's a good one. That's a great
and
one.
I love the way the song opens. It's an a cappella harmonization between all the band members at once.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Except the drummer.
Yeah.
Well,
drummers can't sing.
It's the drummer.
Well, unless you're Don Henley or Phil Collins.
That's true. That's true. All right, number 2.
One each. We're going one each. Go ahead.
No, give your three.
Painless one. I thought that was a great one.
Which one?
Wild Life is a freaking amazing song.
That's a great song.
But you could go on anywhere. Burning Down the House is a fantastic song.
Mm-hmm.
Psycho Killer. Psycho Killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est? You can get into this stuff like crazy, but I think those. I'll stop at those 5 or 6 that I just named. Those are.
So I'm gonna give you Road to Nowhere, Wild Life, and Cross-Eyed Painless, and Wild Life.
Painless was already taken, so.
Or Burning. Actually, we'll do Burning Down the House. You want Cross-Eyed and Painless and Burn Down the House. That's what.
Yeah. We can put Psycho Killer. We'll keep it on the alternate list.
There you go.
It's
honorable mention. There you go.
It's one I think for a song for them was the video that brought them to an audience that they weren't necessarily at yet, right? They were just breaking out into that big. Everybody kind of heard of Talking Heads, and then you saw that video. You're like, whoa!
There you go.
It propelled them for sure.
All right, Samurai.
I thought we were going to do Efren's, right?
I did Efren's.
Oh, you did Efren's. Oh, you threw it out there. Okay. So for me, and there's good reasons for all 3 of these. There's so many great songs. I've got to give. I've got to give "Take Me to the River" as an honorable mention. It's such a great song, and I'd hate for it not to go mentioned during this. So I wanted to bring that up. But my favorite 3, and the third one is number 3, is such a silly song, and I love the silliness of it. And it's just this. There's a silliness and a joy to this song, and it's a joy of a baby. Right. And John, why am I blanking on the name of the song?
Make It Flippy Floppy?
No. Crud.
I thought
I told you
names.
What's the name of the song? This is embarrassing.
So why don't you sing a few bars for us? We'll help.
We'll help you.
I'm trying to get the song. If I could do that, I could get the name of the song.
Yeah. you try to sing it. Come on.
Because you had a stout for the second beer. That's what the problem is.
I'll stay up late.
Oh, stay up late. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, come on.
Oh my God, that is such a fun song. But to me, it's just the joy of being with a small child, keeping a baby up, and just when it's not spitting up on you, shitting itself, or just crying on hysterically for no reason.
Are you talking about a baby or yourself?
Yes. Either works. It's Stay Up Late is just such a great song. I enjoy that. I love the silliness of it. But we get more into the serious ones. As far as I'm concerned, one of the most, very serious song, and I just love the mention of peanut butter in it. And that's Life During Wartime.
Yep.
Life During Wartime. I've changed my hairstyle so many times, I don't know what I look like. That's a great line. It's one of my favorite lines in rock songs.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, my number one, it's got a special place for me. There's a story behind it. I know most of John's have stories behind them as well, for personal stories, which he may or may not share. But Psycho Killer for me is number one, for a couple of reasons. But the main reason is I play bass. I grew up as a trombone player.
You slap at bass.
Yes, I don't do a lot of the slap on it. But I'm not that good to slap.
Get the band back together. I'm telling you guys.
Popping and slapping. There you go.
Putting the band together.
I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm ready.
I'm in because my guitar is just sitting over there unplayed for the longest time. I want to get back into it. I used to play it in front of an audience. But Psycho Killer. So there's an emotional side to this. When my mom passed, there's insurance money left. And I took that insurance money and I went to Robbie's on Route 3 because I knew my mom would not want me to take all that money and pay bills with it. She would want me to do something with it that lasted and something fun. And I went to Robbie's and I pulled down a Gibson SG and Heritage Cherry and I plugged it into a harp.
I'm ready. Whenever you are, I'm ready.
And I plugged it into a harp. There you go. And I plugged it into a Harkey amp. And I started playing Psycho Killer. And this also mentions one of the most unsung bassists in the history of rock and roll, and that's Tina Weymouth. And I don't know that she's ignored because she's a she, or because David Byrne is so much the face of that band that she's in the background. I don't know why she never got the recognition she did, but there's so much about Tina Weymouth's bass playing that drives so many of the songs, and nothing is more of an epitome of that than Psycho Killer.
Absolutely.
Right. And so the salesperson, because there's just, if you've ever been in Robbie's, and I know Johnny has, if you're up in the guitar area, it's just stacks and stacks of amp stacks. And so he peers around the stacks, looks at me, goes, Tina Weymouth? And I didn't break stride on what I was playing. I looked at Tina fucking Weymouth.
Or do you think you were Tina Weymouth?
he's like, no one plays that here. Yeah. Everyone's playing all the stuff on bass that you would expect them to play, like the one Nirvana song. Yeah, everyone would play that. Yeah. And he's like, damn, he goes, that's awesome. You're getting a special deal on this guitar.
That's Come As You Are, if you couldn't figure that out.
That's Come As You Are. Yeah, John knows it. But it's just, that's what I wanted to play. That's what I wanted to play with that guitar in my hand for the first time. And I bought it. It's sitting right there next to my my Fender Bassman 100.
It's actually not in storage.
It's actually not in a box in storage. It's sitting right there next to the first bass I ever owned, an Ibanez TR.
My Gibson Les Paul is right over. It's over there. I'm not getting it. It's over there.
So Chuck, when we get the band back together, we can go straight up Gibson.
There you go. So,
I will say this: one of my favorite guitars that I have. I was in a band for 10 years. I've got a 24-track recording studio in the house. I've got a bunch of.
I'll be over tomorrow. I mean, But when
break
do you want
out,
to lay down tracks? I mean, seriously.
break out that barrel aged coffee beer.
Barrel
And,
aged to wake up and smell the coffee.
yeah, there we go.
We started as a cover band and switched over to originals. I think we wrote something like 300 originals, recorded 2 albums and a couple of demo tapes. A lot of hours in the studio. But my favorite guitar, my favorite instrument, I play keyboard, bass, and I sing. But I love a guitar that I happened upon. A friend of mine said, "Hey, I've got a friend who's getting rid of an acoustic. Do you want it?" And I said, "I don't have one yet." Went to his house, and he had a 53 Gibson F-hole
Oh, Jesus.
original case with the electric pickup that attaches to the side of it. Like,
Yeah.
all
Not on board. It's attached.
OG. So you have to put the electric on it and then plug into it. All OG.
That's gorgeous. That's beautiful.
If you got that for anything under like 2,500, you got a steal.
Yeah.
I think it last time I saw it online, in worse condition than mine, was 5,300.
Yeah.
I think what I paid for it is almost insulting at this point.
All right,
So like I said, if it was under 2,500, it's a goddamn steal.
See, this is where I want to just hit a bottle over my head, because I had a Martin.
Well, John, you know that would make for a really good moment on the show.
Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah.
I had a
do it
Martin
for the show.
I had a Martin acoustic, a Dreadnought from Martin, an acoustic. I had a Steinberger. I had a Guild electric. I had an old Flying V. I had
is this going to go to the point where all these guitars really could have helped make a Rauch beer?
Pretty much, yeah. And keyboards. I had a Roland Juno 106.
That might be the best way it's been put, though, right, John?
Yeah. All of these, what was left of these guitars and keyboards afterwards could have made a really good Rauch beer.
Yeah, I think that's the nicest way we put that in a while.
Right.
I can't part with instruments. I have a hard time.
I didn't want to part with them.
Oh,
I've still got my student trombone from high school.
There you go. Yeah.
Guess where that is?
it's in a closet.
No, it's in
storage.
It's in storage.
I actually still have my saxophone from grammar school, but fortunately, I actually still have it because it's at my father's house. I didn't have it in my house,
so it didn't melt.
It didn't melt, right?
And my youngest son decided he wanted to try to play ukulele, so I gave him my ukulele. That's the only instrument I've actually given up.
I will say this about that Gibson: I could put it in the closet, in the case, for 2 years. Take it out.
You don't have to tune it.
Never tune it.
Stay with the SG.
Tune every time I take it out. That and the I've got an Ovation 12-string.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Never have to.
All right, I'll be seriously. Well, I'm not. You know what? I'm not even going to Jan's tomorrow. I'm just coming over your house.
I've got a guy at the brewery. He said he wanted to change the strings on the Gibson for me. I had my son bring it over. He saw it, brought it to his house, brought it back a day later, said I can't touch it. I just don't.
They're fine.
It's a beautiful guitar, but if you want to play it, I'll bring it.
Bring it.
Not for nothing. The my 2 Ibanezes, I do have to tune them after they've been sitting for a week.
I got to tell you, I talk about Ibanez. My favorite.
I love them. I do love them.
My favorite bass to play. My favorite bass I ever had to play was an Ibanez Soundgear 1000. I bought it. I think it was in '88. I bought it. It was an Ibanez Soundgear 1000. It was. I mean, it's not the best bass in the world. You know, Fender Jazz basses are much better, and forget about even getting into Ricks and Walls and everything else. But this bass, such a long neck, but the neck was thin. You could move around like fast.
Same with my TR. The reason I picked up the TR is it's got both the precision and the jazz pickups on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what I didn't realize is this was not the right guitar for a new bass player. This is my first one. It is an unforgiving instrument. And so it was really tough to learn because your confidence gets completely shot to hell with an instrument like this.
Right.
When I got the SG with the humbucker pickups, which is a very forgiving instrument,
sure.
I started to realize I don't suck as much as I thought I did. So the confidence built, and then finally I decided, let's pull the TR down.
Yeah.
And I pulled the TR out, tuned her back up, and I played some Thin Lizzy on it. I played Jailbreak on it.
Jailbreak. Nice.
And the growl that this instrument has, without any processing, without any pedals. I'm like, my God, this thing's got a throat to it.
So this craft beer podcast has become a music podcast.
Well, the top threes did it, and we still have Johnny to get to his top threes.
And I got to do my top three. Yeah, well, I'll make them fast. I'll give my honorable mention. Most of these are mentioned except for one, except for my number one, as a matter of fact. And that was by design because Dave and I spoke earlier. But that's besides the point. But
we always do, Chuck.
You have to. But I'll throw up my honorable mention is Wild Wild Life, definitely. My number three is Life During Wartime. It was Dave's number two.
I mentioned it.
Right. My number two is Psycho Killer, and these really are mine.
Yeah, these were.
I didn't reorder them because of Dave or anything
usually
like that.
John and I will reorder, leave something out.
So these are actually what I did.
We didn't do it this time.
We didn't do it. So number two is Psycho Killer. It was Dave's number one. My number one is Once in a Lifetime. Just from the minute that came on, MTV back in 81.
And I really and Chuck, not to disagree with you, but I thought that was the video that really put them into America's conscious. Was that one?
I think it's an age thing. It depends on when you jumped in on MTV.
Oh, you just now saying we're older than you?
No,
Chuck's older than us, but
I'm the oldest in the group. Sad to say.
I know you are.
No, Dave's actually older than you.
I am old.
You're in the middle. I'm the youngest. Dave's the oldest in this three.
I'm actually old. But the thing is,
respect our elders, John. You're right.
I mean, we're all within a year and a half. But it's it's pointless to even say older, right? But
listen, that was the generation where you had the sliding cable box. You had this little lever that would go right
up and down, three, up 1, 2, 3, and then you're.
Well, I'm of the generation.
Or you Chuck, you had across.
It was like A to Z.
Oh no, I grew up with UHF, VHF.
Oh no, we had that too, but it was before cable. We didn't when MTV came on the air. My town had gotten cable literally 3 months before.
Exactly.
I was of the generation of the years where you had to splice in your Atari connection.
Yeah, so did I.
Remember that?
My Atari.
You brought in Once in a Lifetime. Now,
but the cable box from the cable company was a slider box.
There was a slider box. I never had the slider
between
box.
Cable and that.
I never had what Chuck.
I never had it either. I know what he's talking about.
It was straight all the way across, like A to Z or whatever he had. I've seen them. I never had that. We had the first box we had was there were 3 levels. There was a top. There was a toggle switch. You went top level, middle level, bottom level, and then you had 12 buttons.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or 13 buttons or whatever.
That's the one I'm in.
Yeah.
Now, John brought up Once in a Lifetime, and our guest tonight was supposed to be Efren Hidalgo from Rhode Island. It's the reason we picked Talking Heads, and John knows what I'm going to do here. John is doing the motion of the chop across the arm.
Same as it ever was.
Same as it
ever was.
Now, Chuck, I don't know if you're aware of this, but when I lived in Rhode Island, I learned this. With David Byrne being from Rhode Island, there is a place there called the New York System. The New York System does hot dogs, and they've got a chili sauce they put on it. And when they do it, the one, and I forget the name of the town where the original is, but it's a college town, and since it was cheap, all the college kids would go there. People from RISD would go there as well. It's just one town over from Providence. Okay. And they would line up the buns on their arm, and they put the dogs in, and then they slap the sauce on it.
Okay.
And they said that this one here, this was the tastiest because this had the most sweat on it because it was in the crook of the arm. That was the tastiest. That's disgusting, but okay. But so when he's doing this, he's actually giving obeisance. He's honoring the New York System. This is laying off hot dogs on your arm. It's what he's doing. And everybody in Rhode Island understood it immediately. No one else understood why the hell he did that, but that is why he did it.
40 years later, I'm finally understanding what the hell that
was. What the hell it was.
And that's what it is.
Because all he's doing is the lyric is the same as it ever was.
Yep.
So I'm thinking some kind of repetition.
Put chili on hot dogs. That's all he's doing.
That's all he's doing. That's what he's doing.
I like my story a whole lot more, by the way. Kind of robbed.
But that's what it is. Actually, I love that story, and it took me moving to Rhode Island just before the pandemic to learn why he was doing that. Because and Rhode Island's been holding this secret forever. They've not told the rest of the world But I learned it
Give
while I
it
was
to
there.
give it to Dave that he became one of them briefly to learn the story and then expose it.
I'm
to
getting it
everyone
out
else.
there.
Just long enough.
Just long enough just to figure it out.
Just long enough to learn their secrets.
Give me your secrets. I'm out of here.
Exactly. That's wonderful.
It was a good time.
I tell you what, if the Talking Heads come in concert again, if they do, God bless.
From your
gotta
mouth
go
to
together.
God's ears.
We're going. Yeah, we'll go.
We gotta go.
We're going.
And back in our days, God, when it came to concerts, was Don Felder, but not anymore.
There you go.
Yeah,
he was the one who brought all the concerts around.
Don Felder production.
There you go. Let's get the band back together so we can get in touch with David Byrne when they do put the band back together. When they
can back them up
together, we can back them up. We can actually open
for them. There we go.
We got to get somebody like John Zale.
There you go.
Or somebody, one of the guys that's out there. He's got to pull the bands together from all the different places he's played, all the musicians that he's bumped into. Find the super group, and we'll bring him to Jersey Girl and set up a night of music.
Works perfect.
Wherever we go, wherever
that works.
John and I do know a saxophone player.
I love horns. I'm a huge horn fan.
Right, John?
I'm not sure who you're talking about. I know a couple, but
Fifth Hammer.
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah. Chris Kuzme. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Kuzme.
Yeah, Kuzme can play sax. Absolutely, 100%. Chris from Fifth Hammer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, he's a great saxophonist.
Nice.
He's fantastic.
Nice 3-4 piece horn section. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
He
can pull the other horns together 100%.
Oh, you want me to pull my trombone back out?
No.
I'm talking about the brass instrument.
Over at Fort Nonsense. Andrew over at Fort Nonsense, also a horn player.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Done. That's
very, very accomplished horn
player.
player.
I broke the stream, John. I'll be back.
Oh, geez.
So
He's got to get.
Broke the stream. Got the stream going.
Cross the stream. You don't want to do that.
No, never cross the streams unless you're fighting Gozer.
Exactly.
Be right back.
All right. Anyway. All right.
Andrew's a horn player.
Okay.
I tell you, there's a ton of musicians.
There really is. We should. Yeah. There could be a New Jersey craft brewing, and we can New Jersey, New York, because we'll include Chris. Super group. There really can be.
You know what it reminds me of when we talk about it? In the 80s, all the wrestlers got together and did these songs, these wrestling songs. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I did. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh gosh,
That's great.
It can't be that, but it's good. When they all stood on stage and they were singing their one lines, it can't be that. We could do some really good stuff.
We could. I'd love to do that. Yeah, definitely. You know what? If I get up there on Saturday, okay, I'm gonna go. We're gonna go by Jan tomorrow night. We're gonna go, to celebrate this. Let me know if you're coming down. I'll
try to be there tomorrow.
Okay, awesome. Try and get down there. We'll pregame it tomorrow, but I'm gonna try and get up to the brewery on Saturday.
You're gonna love Captain's Leisure. Is amazing.
I got to see this band. Yeah, I got to see them. So I'll try to get up there on Saturday, and then and we'll talk about it even further. At that point,
I'm going to be up at Jan's tomorrow.
Probably get up there a little bit earlier because Al's going up at 5:30 because he's actually interviewing Jan for his show this Sunday.
Okay,
so he's going to get there a little earlier. So, what Matt and I are going. We're brewing with Gretchen in the morning, and then we'll probably split up, clean up, and then head up by Jan maybe like late afternoon, probably like 5:30, 6 o'clock. We'll get up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Sounds good.
I'll keep you. I'll text you, and I'll text you during the day and let you know the timing and everything. But try and get down. It'd be awesome.
Collabing? Are you guys collabing with Gretchen, or are you just doing a?
We're helping it. She texted me a couple weeks ago or last week and asked if Matt and I can come in and help her do a brew tomorrow. So we're just going. It's not collab. Maybe it becomes a collab. I don't know, but at the moment we're just helping her out with a brew. So.
We don't do a lot of collabs at Jersey Girl. We haven't done a lot in the past, but I think my head brewer Dave is really he's really trying to convince me that it's the right thing to do and do more of them.
Well, if you start doing them, let me know.
Yeah, I know a brewery who have become like collab whores.
We've been doing a bunch lately. We did a black IPA with alternate endings in the end of November, beginning of November. We did a We released a Belgian double with Ashton. We're doing a collab later this month, early next month with Twin Elephant.
Nice.
So we have a few in the works, but yeah, we've been doing a bunch.
Conversation. I think the one thing that I believe we missed, which was a big hurdle in the legislation, and we had a feeling it wouldn't go through, were guest taps.
Guest taps, yeah.
That
was in one of those supplemental bills that in the original last June. That was in one of those supplemental bills.
Iterations had it as an option, but it didn't get very far. It's unfortunate, because I think that it's the part that I think unifies beer in New Jersey is the ability to bring a friend's beer in. You know, another brewery, another craft beer, another craft spirit, craft wine, whatever it is.
100%. See, that's where I went with it. And I said that too, as far as guest taps go. All New Jersey, just New Jersey, New Jersey beers, New Jersey spirits, New Jersey ciders, whatever. In you know, just for New Jersey focus. You can't bring in a brewery from Iowa, or you know, if there's one brewery in Iowa that they want, but that's not what they're talking about. But you know what I'm saying. But you can't do that. Just New Jersey focus. That's it.
But I think we think about phase 2. So what's next, right? That's already the discussion, is what do we do next? Because if it's going to take 12 years to get this far, you know,
it did. It took 13, 11 and a half years. 11 and a half years. So we got to start lining up the next big thing. But I think momentum is in our favor this time.
Yes. You mentioned friends in the brewery industry. I think I now understand a little better who points Bolero Snort in the directions they go. Scott Wells had just posted up something that he can't put the deep fryer away just yet. And he battered and deep fried some double stuffed peanut butter Oreos and dusted them with powdered sugar. I imagine that's going to become a Bolero Snort beer kind of soon.
Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I think it was one already. Actually,
it may have been.
Yeah.
I'm the only guy that's drooling right now. Right?
No. No! Don't get me wrong. I'm drooling, but
I want one of them.
But this becomes.
And if he didn't live an hour and a half away from me, I'd get in the car right now and go over there.
He does live. He lives.
He's kind of
20 minutes away from me.
Nice.
20, maybe about 30.
No, he's probably about a half an hour from you.
Yeah, probably about 30.
Yeah.
They looked good, but it sounded more like one of their beers than an actual late night snack.
Nice.
Just because, Chuck, I don't know if you know this, we love to make fun of Bolero on this show, and both Scott and Bob know that we do it. They've challenged us to brawls in the parking lot over it.
Nice.
Death cage matches.
Don't look at me. Him.
Oh, you make fun of him as much as I do.
The cage matches. I'm talking about.
No, I'm kidding. They know we do it. They love it.
Pick a cage, pick Thunderdome, and 2-min enter.
Right.
If you're gonna do it right. You know,
do it right.
Do it right.
Master Blaster.
No, I think I appreciate what Bolero does for beer and craft beer in New Jersey, and
especially what Scott has done for.
They're showing, they're doing quite a bit more than just fun craft beer or delicious craft beer. They're actually leading a lot of these efforts, and it's amazing how they do so quietly. They really. It's not an accolades thing. They're not looking for everybody to go pat them on the back, and I think it's amazing because I don't think everybody acts like that. But they do.
We know too many people in the industry who will do something very, very small and just throw it up on Facebook and they want all those likes.
Yep, I think it's a part of it, you know, and I felt uncomfortable. I'll be honest. I felt uncomfortable today. I took all the pictures from Trenton, and the story was more about understand it's not a one-day thing. The governor did not wind up waking up this morning and said, I want to sign craft beer. You've got groups of brewery owners that would go
pushing them
Trenton 10, 12 times, and it's different groups every time. If you look through the pictures, there's different brewery owners in every picture. There are some that are the same each picture, but everybody stepped up, and that's what made this effort and what makes it so important for craft beer in New Jersey. Are the ones that uniquely had the opportunity, took it, stood up, and did something.
Exactly.
And Scott was always there,
Mm-hmm.
as was Eric.
100% of the time. Yep. Was. All right. All right.
And Augie in a suit.
Yes.
Augie in a suit.
Augie in a suit.
Augie in a suit was a good day.
And let me tell you something. That is the name of our first
album. Augie in a suit.
Augie in a suit.
You go there. Nice. Augie in a suit.
Wow.
Oh, I gotta love it. 100%. Anyway. All right. You were coming on for 10 minutes and you stayed on for an hour and a half. So
yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for staying to the schedule. That's really
like it's our fault.
No. I'll give you a camera next time. No photos.
Exactly.
I don't know. I love the fact that when you speak, the ring around your profile picture just vibrates in and out,
like vibrator or something. Oh, look!
When you
see it?
Talk, it goes like that. Yeah.
I had no idea.
I'm loving that. That's we may make all of our guests do that, especially the not so good looking ones.
Oh,
just kidding.
Oh, I felt that a little bit. If I didn't,
that was just meant. That was just for the joke.
I was going to say, he wants me to turn my camera off. That's what he wants me to do.
God, if only, and if we could turn his camera and mic off, that'd be even.
There you go.
You guys.
Anyway,
I don't know why I jumped on tonight. Thanks.
I was talking about John turning his mic off, not you.
My wife's downstairs waiting to abuse me. I gotta go.
All right, go talk to your wife. Tell her I said hi. Tell her we said hi.
Yes, please tell her.
I'll text you during the day tomorrow, and I want to see you. If you can get down there, try and get down there. I'll see you up in at Jersey Cycling tomorrow. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, fantastic, guys. Hey, thanks for having me.
You got it.
No, thanks for jumping on.
Jersey.
Yes, congrats to Jersey. Awesome.
Congrats to Jersey. It's a win for everybody.
Exactly.
Cheers, boys. Cheers. All right.
We'll talk to you.
Night, Chuck.
Good night.
Good night. So
we said good night. You can leave now if you'd like.
He's trying.
He's working on it.
He's working on it. He's getting there.
He's of our age. Tech's not in the wheelhouse.
There we go. Anyway. Okay. So good show. It worked out.
Yes.
Feel bad for Efren. He couldn't get on.
Yep.
Couple things I wanted to mention before.
But we will have him on again.
We'll reschedule. Efren comes on. I don't know if you have any of you that are out there long time listeners, watchers, viewers.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Exactly. This would have been the third time Efren's coming on. He's been on. We usually get him on January, February every year, right? So this would have been that. We'll get him on again. We'll reschedule with Efren.
We will absolutely reschedule him.
Things, as the story goes, shit happens, right?
Yep.
Things happened, and
sometimes the shit's worse than others. But
right. I spoke to him 3 times today. He was looking forward to for the last 3 weeks. He's been looking forward to coming on the show. So, but yeah, things happened. We'll reschedule him. We'll get him back on.
We love having him on the show. He's a good friend of the show.
Absolutely.
And he's just a joy to have on.
We won't have any Providence beers. 2 Providence Brewing beers down.
I've got one left.
You've got one left. That's it.
You've got a few left.
I have one. I have a porter left. I have a can of the porter left. Yeah.
Yes.
So I can save that for that day. But in any event, we'll get him back on. But I did want to mention that Jess and I, we took a tour around. We did our due diligence around Rhode Island. We went to we went to Proclamation and Moniker the first day.
How many video games did you play there?
I didn't play any, actually.
You didn't play any video games?
No, I didn't, because they were busy that day, and all of them were being played. We focused on the beer, and we left. And I was talking to the one beer tender there. I gave him some Nautical Twilight. Gave him a couple cans of Nautical Twilight, and he enjoyed that. But we were just discussing it a little bit. But no, we were there for an hour or so, because we went to Kennebunk Park first and went to the lighthouse. I
love Kennebunk.
So we were over there first. Then we went to Proc, and then we were going to go to Aeronaut. Argonaut.
No. Are you talking about a brewery or
Brewery.
no?
It's in Warwick. It's
Yeah.
not too far from Brock. So, well, anyway, we were going to do there, but we didn't. We left and we went to Moniker, and which is when I parked near the other brewery that you told me about the next day.
Moniker had just opened before I had left. You're talking about Apponaug. Yeah. They had opened just before we had left. Before I had left Rhode Island. They were doing some pretty damn good stuff. Their NEIPAs were pretty damn spot on. But they were also doing some other good stuff, and I think they branched out a little bit after I left into different styles. So, they do good stuff, and they're right down the road from just forgot the name of it, the beer hall. What's the name of that beer hall?
In Warwick?
No, down the road from Moniker.
Oh,
I'm on their mailing list.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it. Thanks for asking me, because then I would have. If you didn't ask me, I would have thought of it.
Yeah, you would have known it just like that. I can. You know what I can do? I can put Moniker Brewing into maps and then just navigate from there.
There you go.
Right down to there they are, and right down to Bayberry Beer Hall.
Oh, Bayberry Beer Hall, yeah.
Yeah. And if you're in Moniker, you got to get across the street to Origin Beer Project, which I probably closed while you were there.
Which I parked 20 feet away from. And anyway, so the next day we went down to Buttonwoods. They're going to be on the show.
Buttonwoods is one of the most underrated breweries in all of Rhode Island.
Great guys, great beer. They're going to be on the show.
Really neat space too.
Really cool space. And
you know what? Don't worry, you're probably not going to get shanked.
I'm not. It's in Cranston. Okay, it's in Cranston. It's right along 95 in Cranston.
Yep, you can see it every time I drive up 95 through it. I'm like, hey, there's Buttonwoods.
But here's the thing. And
I got to do that faster because I drive really fast.
Here's the answer. Dylan will fill us in more about this when he comes on the show in 4. I think he's coming on 4 weeks. When is he slated to come on?
Sometime in February.
Jeff is coming on 1, 2, 3. Jeff is coming on the 13th. That's 4 weeks.
That's Bakes.
Bakes. Dylan Bruns from Buttonwoods is coming on the 6th. So 3 weeks will be on the show.
Very cool.
God,
I have beer to
you do.
I know I do. I'm joking because someone humped some back for me.
I muled some back for him. But whatchamacallit, Dylan will be on, but he'll talk more about this then. And I'm not gonna spoil it. I'll let him unveil it, but they may be moving.
God, please keep the same furniture. The one thing I love about Buttonwoods is the furniture in that place looks like everything was picked up at the side of the road please take free.
It's almost like Spite and Dival used to be.
Yes, where you just got all this mismatch.
That's the charm. It's amazing.
It's amazing. They are dog friendly. There's always dogs in there, unless you're the only people in there, like John was at the time because he got there early.
Jess and I walked in as they opened, so we were the only ones in there. So,
but
for the first half hour, and then.
And I'm going to be afraid to ask Dylan this, but there was a time you'd walk into Buttonwoods and there was a dog that would greet you. He was their official greeter. He was the brewery dog. They had 2 dogs. One usually slept behind the bar the whole time you were there. The other one would come up and greet you. Yep. I forget their names. And if you were not greeted by a dog on the way in, it makes me scared to actually ask the question.
Yeah, there was no dog there, so we'll talk to Dylan about that. But so when we left there, we took a ride down to Exeter, and we went to
Tilted Barn.
The
barn's no longer tilted.
It's not tilted. Well,
the barn is named after is probably still tilted.
Well, the last time I was there before we went was almost 7 years ago, right? The last time I was there was the old tilted barn. It was the original location, and
John was brave enough to get into the top level.
Went up to the loft, stood there, didn't fall. Was up there though, but
that loft, I don't know how that loft never gave way.
I got pictures from it. I'll have to find them, but In any event, we so we went down to Tilted Barn, and then we came back and we went to Long Live, and we were Long Live for a while.
Long Live has also a loft, but it's a bit sturdier.
It's pretty solid.
It's pretty damn solid. Loft and Proclamation, John, were two of the places that I went to that do have those pop-in kitchens.
They do. They do.
Right. They do those on a regular basis. Smug Brewing does that on a regular basis. You know, I've got a really tight connection to Smug because they were 4 blocks away from me. I was there all the time. And Smug will always have a dear place in my heart. It's the first place I ever walked into in Rhode Island and I walked through the door and they recognized me because I'd been there a couple of times. So, you know, that became kind of like home for me. So a bunch of these places have done these pop-in kitchens. I'd love to see some of that in Jersey, but like we said, you got the health inspection, you got other permits that might be necessary for them. So we're not going to see them right away with this new law in effect, but that's good. But so where else did you wind up?
All right, hold on. That is the old Tilted Barn.
It is, but it doesn't quite give the feel of the tilt.
Right. That is a picture
that does.
From that is a picture from the loft that Dave would not brave to go up.
It wasn't that I wouldn't brave it. It was full already.
It's almost a 7-year-old picture too. There.
It was already full. The one thing people need to understand about Tilted Barn is also a tree farm.
It's a Christmas tree farm, yeah.
It's a Christmas tree farm. They do have live animals there. Unlike the other breweries that only have dead animals. And when I say that, I'm talking about a particular brewery in Richmond, Virginia that's got a lot of dead animals inside there.
This is true.
What's the name of that one? It's the one with the raccoon doing this.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Crap.
It was my favorite brewery while we're in Richmond.
Strange Ways?
Which one?
Not Strange Ways. No, not.
Strange Ways.
Strange Ways, yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of dead animals on the wall.
Yeah. Strange Ways, yeah.
But no, I don't think any brewery has more dead animals in it than invasive species.
Yeah, well. Of course.
It's just like taxidermy in every corner you can think of, including a rather large warthog.
Right.
I think it's a warthog, some big piggish thing. But yeah.
Yeah, they're
but you can still visit the animals because they've done a cut through the fields, and there's a lower section behind from Tilted Barn to the south where there's picnic tables out there, but it's completely surrounded by fences, and that's where the animals are. So you can definitely still visit the animals.
Yeah. So we had
the first time I ever went there. The cool thing about Tilted Barn is you could order your beer and walk out of the barn. You could drink in the parking lot.
Oh, you were drinking in the parking lot, and they had food trucks out there. It was one. I got to say, that old barn, almost 7 years ago when I was there, had one of the best grilled cheeses I've ever had. Period.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. It was
my first time there.
French onion grilled cheese is what it was.
My first time there was no food trucks, but I took my taster, sat on the hood of my car, and drank with an ass because the donkey was right there watching.
Did you have a mirror next to you?
Yeah. But the donkey was right there because I was parked right up against the fence.
Right.
And so I toasted him with everyone. He hung with me for a bit. Nice. He must have felt sorry for me because it was all by myself.
Or he was simpatico. I mean, he was like, oh, yeah, we'll hang with this guy.
Or maybe he thought it was
He's
a mirror.
Like-minded.
or he thought that was a mirror. Yeah.
There you go. Right. Yeah, that's it. So, but anyway, we went to Long Live. We called it night. The night before we actually ate at Malted Barley.
You didn't make it to Crooked Current would have been open the days.
No. They, Nicole was not open. Rob was not open.
Smug's only Wednesday through Sunday.
So Thursday through Sunday.
Thursday
through Sunday.
Yeah, and they used to be open Tuesday through Sunday because they would be every Tuesday night.
Couldn't get up there. Couldn't get up to Nicole and Rob were not there. Couldn't get up to Smug or Crooked Current. But we did go to Malted Barley on Tuesday night. Wednesday night we ate actually at a pizza. What the hell was the name of the place? You told me to go there on.
You went to Fellini's?
No.
You said pizza.
Yeah, it was on.
I would not recommend any pizza in Rhode Island other than One Pie and Fellini's.
You told me to go there, and we went. It was good. It was all right.
I would not recommend any fucking pizza place in Rhode Island.
It was on Wickenden.
That's Fellini's.
No, it was.
It's right next to Amy's.
No, we ate breakfast at Amy's both.
I know you ate breakfast at Amy's, but the one on Wickenden, the only pizza place in Wickenden, the only place that I had a pizza that
Pizza Marvin. Pizza Marvin. We went. Pizza Marvin.
I'm not the one who told you to go there.
Somebody told me to go to Pizza Marvin.
Wasn't me. I would not have done so.
It was. It was. I mean, it was thicker. It was like it was like a Sicilian slice.
It's one of the coal fires.
It's coal fire Sicilian slice with a shit ton of pepperoni on it, so it was fine. It was good.
No, the only pizza that I would ever recommend in Rhode Island would be Fellini's, and it would be their white pie called the Wickenden, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
If you want something in Rhode Island that's like a more like a what you call it, a Sicilian, that's good. It's greasy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Twins Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
They do pretty much picture old school Pizza Hut, but square.
Gotcha.
And that's what Twins was like. And Twins was on my way home from work.
Pizza Marvin wasn't bad. The slices we had, like I said, there was a lot of pepperoni on it there. Like there's a slice right there. It was coal fired.
Coal fire is a big thing in Rhode Island.
Yeah, it was good.
And some of the best
it's going to be. We had a good salad while we were there too, so that was fine. And then the next day
wow. So you go to a pizza place, and one of the best things you had was the salad. That says a lot for
that's what we had. We had the pizza and the salad. That's all we had. We actually wanted to go up to what's the name of the block? Hold on.
Block?
Yeah, Atwell's. We want to go up to the Italian, section.
Oh yes, if you said Little Italy, yes.
Little Italy, yeah. But we drove when we went by Efren, and we came around the corner, came back, and we drove down.
Because Efren's really close to Atwell.
He's right there, yeah. So, you know what else is really close? And I didn't even realize it. And Jess, being the Gilmore Girls fan that Jess is,
yes.
When we were going over to Efren's, we were coming up. Up to Route 6, and we came over, getting up to Sims to go over by Efren. And when we came off the highway to go around to come back down to Efren, we passed the Providence Journal.
Really?
And that's where it was somewhere that the character Rory was almost going to get a job. So
that is correct.
I guess. Anyway, but in any event. That's really all we did brewery wise in Rhode Island this trip. So
Atwell's is not a bad place at all. There's some as much as I will rail against the pizza in Rhode Island, the Italian in Rhode Island is very well represented. Especially a place called Andino's. I really, really enjoyed Andino's.
Saw that.
Oh God!
We wanted to get up there. We actually wanted to get up there for dinner on Wednesday night, but we were between Buttonwoods and going down to Tilda Bar and coming back and going to Long Live. We just took so long at all of them. We're like, yeah, we're not going to try and squeeze something in. Let's go get a slice of pizza at Pizza Marvin, back on Wickenden, and a salad, and go back to the hotel. Because we want to wake up the next morning and get back to Amy's, because those breakfast sandwiches at Amy's are so fucking ridiculously good. So good.
There is a place that was in that area, and I'm looking for it now. I don't know if COVID killed it because it's not showing up anywhere. But there was a pizza place that was called something Brooklyn style pizza, and that was the closest you could get to a tri-state area pizza in all of Rhode Island.
Fair enough.
They weren't bad. They weren't great, but they weren't bad. And when I talk about Rhode Island pizza, what's bad about it is their sauce is bland. There's no oregano in it, and the mozzarella has no salt,
which is amazing because most, not all, a lot of mom and pop shops will make their own mozz. They'll do a lot of stuff like that. Fresh mozz. But here's the thing, though: when you order, pre-made mozz, slicing mozz, shredded mozz, or whatever to put on pizzas, whether the pizzeria is shredding it themselves or they're getting shredded, bags of shredded, they all come from around the same place. So
I don't know
there
what it
should
is.
not be a difference in the mozzarella.
It was.
I'm talking like
the
mozzarella. The mozzarella.
The mozzarella. The mozzarella. But it's
Mozzarella.
no. It's just there's
Mutz.
no.
Give me the mutz.
It's the Napolitano's Brooklyn Pizza. That's the
Napolitano's Brooklyn Pizza.
That's an Otwell's. Otwell's. They're still open. They did not.
There you go. And then when we
they weren't too bad.
And then we actually spent time. We went downtown on Wednesday. I texted you a picture of the waterfront with the pods where the fire comes out, but they're just in the water. They weren't lit.
Yes, that's water fire.
Water fire, yeah. And then we went downtown. We went to the arcade, walked around, got a nice cup of coffee, now
that arcade. I don't know if many people realize this. The arcade is the first ever indoor mall in the United States.
Indoor mall in the United States, first ever indoor mall in the United States. And there's actually apartments upstairs there. You can actually live in the mall now.
You can. Those opened just before COVID. As a matter of fact, they made those available. And the other thing about that particular mall, and I never got to visit it because I was there during COVID, is that the H.P. Lovecraft bookstore is in that.
Yes, it is. We went in it. We went by.
It's open now. And the water fire happens on the, say it with me if you can, the Winnesquatucket River.
Winnesquatucket.
I have been there for water fire. It's really a neat event. The music that they have that opens it, you think that the people coming down the stairways in the cowls with the fire in hand are about to sacrifice a virgin, but it's Rhode Island, so they couldn't find one. So they come down and set the river on fire.
So that's those are your three, most notable buildings in Rhode Island, and you see the little dots in the water. That's where the water fire is.
Those are okay. Not to gainsay you, but they're not exactly the Capitol building is probably the most notable.
No, I'm just saying the three buildings. When you see
so you're showing what's referred to as the Rhode Island skyline.
The Rhode Island skyline. That's what I'm talking about.
Right. The Providence skyline, right there.
Providence
skyline.
Right.
The one on the right, the one that was on the right there, they refer to as the Superman building. It's any building that looks like that. And for the longest time, the people in Rhode Island claimed that was the Daily Planet building. And it's not.
It's not.
But that's typical of Rhode Island. They've got that small state mentality where they claim this, they claim that, they claim that. To kind of make themselves less small. I don't know. It's kind of funny. I've said this many times, John. They will complain about their potholes and the size of their potholes. I think it's cute because we know full well that the potholes on Tunnelly Avenue could swallow the state of Rhode Island.
The potholes on Tunnelly Avenue are potholes. Yeah, they're not potholes.
Potholes, and they're because they're upside down hills.
Right, exactly.
And many of them could probably swallow the whole state of Rhode Island.
Pretty much.
I've seen potholes, no lie, on potholes on Tunnelly Avenue take trailers off of semis.
Pretty much. So, but
something else.
But like I said, went to the arcade, and I'll tell you the story really quick, and then we'll wrap things up. When we were in the arcade, we went and got a cup of coffee, and we got a donut from they had Need donuts. They had Need donuts in the cafe.
KNEAD.
We went to Need donuts. The actual Need donuts on the East End, over by Brown,
right.
Thursday before we left. But we were there on Wednesday.
It's a very, very clean donut shop.
I got to be honest, a very clean donut shop. But I got to be honest with you. We walk in there, we're sitting down, and now I'm as big a rock guy as I am, and as big a music guy as I am. I do like my jazz too. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do enjoy my jazz. There's a specific jazz playlist that Apple has, right? And I didn't make the list, but I listened to it. I listen to this list on a regular basis while I'm doing some paperwork, while I'm doing some computer work, anytime I just have it on, right? So we're sitting in there, Jess and I are sitting in there, we're having our coffee, we're having our Need donuts, and Dave's eating right now, you can tell.
You're making me hungry.
There you go. And I'm listening to these jazz, there's jazz music on, right? So I'm listening to it, and You know how when you listen to a playlist, you listen to an album,
You know everything's on it.
you know what's coming next, right? You listen to it, you know what's coming next. Like in your mind, this is the song that's coming next. And in your mind after that, this is the song that's coming next. So I'm sitting there, we're drinking the coffee, we're talking, we're eating the donuts, and I'm doing this, subconsciously. I'm just, this is the next song comes on. It came on, right? So I walk up to the girl behind the counter, and apparently she owns a shop or whatever. And I said, I'm a huge jazz fan too. And I'm like, this is my playlist. She says, this is the playlist, and show me on her phone. It's the same damn playlist.
There you go.
All the time. It's like minds, good minds, great minds think alike. She's like,
Need Donuts is very good, but the only reason John had to go to Need Donuts is PV Donuts was closed.
PV Donuts was closed. PV Donuts.
So I warned them you were coming.
You did. You called everybody in Rhode Island and said, John's coming up, closed. Take the week off. But then we got at it. When we left Need Donuts, we got out of town. And we went up and picked up some beer from Treehouse, which some of it may or may not make an appearance on the show next week. That's all I want to say.
I've got a little bit of it. I've got a stack of it sitting right there.
Exactly.
Under number 5486.
5486. There you
go. Which is my pickup number. And John, thank you for humping that all back.
Anyway.
You probably should have put in a gas surtax.
That's all good. If I was getting it for Joe Schmo, I might have, but not you.
But I'm sure the extra weight in the car probably caused a little gas consumption.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So anyway. All right. So good show tonight. Worked out well. We had Chuck on. We talked about New Jersey. A lot of stuff going on there.
Yay.
Maybe I'll go live tomorrow night with a little bit of stuff going on at Jan's at Jersey Cyclone, because New Jersey Craft Beer is having an event tomorrow night for celebrating this new bill passage at Jersey Cyclone Brewing in.
Tell Mac I said hi.
Yep. So you want
to then punch him in the nuts for me.
We'll do so.
Thank you.
But on that note, excuse me, we will wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening.
We're wrapping up the show with a nut punch. I like that.
With a nut punch, you gotta love it. That's the perfect time to wrap up the show. We want to thank everybody for listening. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.logroom.com. That's LEGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, which is now X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. We started an hour late because of some difficulties with our guest, who wasn't able to come on, but more on that later. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you will find the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. We want to thank Chuck for coming on in a moment's notice to talk about the New Jersey new bill passage, and of course, wax nostalgic about some bands and talk about music in general. And we want to also apologize to any of you that were expecting Efren Hidalgo from Providence Brewing to come on. He apologizes. We apologize. Couldn't work out tonight. Technical difficulties. There were issues. We will rebook him. He will come on soon. We'll keep you posted on that. But thank you to everybody, all of them, and everyone else. And we'll talk to you soon. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we'll talk to you soon, folks.
And don't forget to look up Worldwide Beer Fest on Facebook.
Don't forget to look up Worldwide Beer Fest on Facebook. We'll post it as well. And we'll reach out to Catherine, and we'll talk about that as well. Maybe we'll have her on the show.
There you go.
Talk about it. So anyway, all right. We will talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Have a great weekend. Cheers.